I could get drunk off the lights of a city. Late night phone calls just to say you miss me, but you don't. No, you don't. Drop my phone now, that shit's broken. 2 a.m. and I'm lost in Brooklyn, missing home. I know you don't. When we were on, I'd always thought we would make it.
Hello and welcome back to the Smite Draft League. We've got Divine Division action for you tonight. Blue side, you're looking at Dark Omen, and red side, you are looking at Eclipse. I'm Anthony Malum. I am joined by the best caster ever, Fenix, tonight, and we are excited to bring you the game. Fenix, how are you doing?
I don't know if I'm the best caster ever, but I hope that I'm a good caster in this game because it should be a doozy. Divine League, obviously not the highest division in this STL that we have, but really talented players. We feel that it's kind of a double immortal league. We kind of have a lot of good players here, and especially with CubeDaFace, I can already see one name on the right hand side.
Yeah, a lot of talent in this game. LuneyToons strikes me as well. NeptuneSpartan, pretty gross. I was watching a bit of scrims that were being streamed by Voulg, and those were looking very promising as well. Yeah, the Divine Division, like you said, it's kind of like a double immortal, and they're both honestly, on paper, they're both almost a little higher stacked up than Challenger was last season, which was our lower of the two divisions. So, very excited for this season to get underway. The soul being locked in first might be a sign of things to come in this game. We might have some chaos on our hands. Walk me through the first couple picks here.
Yeah, magical ADCs were already banned out. Freya banned, Olorun banned, so Soul was one of the only options with Chronos being left. Great choice. This obviously can be flexed between ADC and mid. I would expect it to be an ADC though, because Agni versus Soul is probably not your favorable matchup. Probably Soul versus any physical ADC is a much more favorable matchup on the side of Dark Omen.
Yeah, and it's tough because it's so easy to really get wrapped up in the conversation of mage ADCs because I'm really beating a dead horse with it, but it's not necessarily that hunters are bad in terms of physical ADCs. It's just really that assassins and mage ADCs are so good, and that's going to be the theme for a while here until we see some massive meta changes. But at least it opens up interesting god pools and some really spread out team comps.
Yeah, you have to put yourself into a different position as far as like team comps go, as you just said. If you're gonna pick a mage ADC, you might need to pick a physical in some other position, such as maybe support. As you can see, that horse over there. Rarely do I see a horse nowadays in the solo lane. This is a possibility for Eclipse to play that in the solo lane, but you also pick the Odin. So you have two choices here now. You can put the Odin in support or in solo, or you can put the horse in support or in solo. This is a really good pick coming from Eclipse with the horse and Odin being picked because the team on our left-hand side, Dark Omen, does not know what's coming their way as far as support and solo go.
That was going to be my exact thoughts. It makes it complicated here for Dark Omen to figure out what they're drafting and trying to figure out what to put where. Because, I mean, look at the Guan Yu. The Guan Yu probably has to really consider the laning options, but you have no idea what you're going against. And there's even a world where, depending on what comes out later, that Horus or Odin could go jungle. I mean, Horus jungle's definitely more of a godlike division thing, looking at Midman from season 1. But,
Yeah,
it's always on the table and it's always an option.
always an option, of course. But once again, you pick a support that is a physical on the side of Eclipse, and you pick a solo that's a physical, most likely as of right now. You will pick a jungle that is also going to be physical, and now you have an ADC option. Kronos is the only mage true ADC left open, which means you might have 4 Fizz on the side of Eclipse if you don't go ahead and pick up the Kronos here or ban it or whatever you want to do.
Yeah, and you put yourself in a not a bad spot, but an interesting spot if you choose to go with a Guardian. You're gonna have limited options on where to put them. Guardian jungles are not something that nobody's ever seen before, but they're certainly not in the strongest place in the world.
Yeah, you want to be worried about damage output, especially. I mean,
Mhm.
Agni's going to be pumping out that damage, and obviously he's going to have a lot of peel, already does, with the 2 picks they've done. But Kronos is still an open option here. Did not get banned out in the second phase, so but Ganesh will be picked up, which means that you made a great call. Unless that's Ganesha solo or mid, I would assume that that's probably going to be Ganesha support and then an Odin or Horse support. Sorry, Odin or Horse solo jungle.
Yeah, that's You know, if you just showed me the character selection so far, I'd say we were in the godlike division.
Yeah.
Seeing this out of Eclipse, you have to. So for week 1 of this season, these teams didn't get a buffer week, so you know everybody's meeting each other quickly. Eclipse had a notable transaction already where they have a new solo laner in the form of DrJDM, not necessarily playing a solo lane, but replacing Steel due to scheduling issues, who was their solo lane. So they've had time to scrim, but not an infinite amount. So these team comps, you know, it's not like they've got set in stone, ironclad strategies coming into this game.
No one in this first week especially is going to be like, all right, we're here and we know exactly what we're doing, and I know your mother's name and your children's name and everything like that. No, we're not that deep as friends yet, or deep as team comps and personality understanding goes. So there's a lot of time in this season though. This is only week 1. As we get into the further weeks, I'm expecting that these types of picks out of Eclipse will not be so surprising. Maybe it will work out for them here. Who knows? But this is, it's going to have to be a lot of damage out of one of these. Odin or Horse is going to have to do a lot of damage to go ahead and compensate for the late game Medusa, as well as obviously the late game Agni. They're going to have to do this early game very securely.
Yeah, they've got a NoobLet God pool coming out, an Agni and a Medusa hover. This is getting kind of wild. And on the other side, we haven't even gotten to talk too much about Dark Omen, but their team comp is very, very strong. Thor, Merlin, Soul, Guan Yu, Yamoja is a dangerous composition, and I'm 100% on board with you. I'm slightly concerned about the damage output. It's obviously possible to be there, but I guess it all depends on the roles and where they go. So we'll have to wait for this lock-in.
You were just talking about Dark Omen. 50 stacks of tablet on Merlin, just destructive. There's no chance that you can answer that type of stuff as an Agni or even a Medusa, especially in, all 3 of his phases are very dangerous, but especially Ice is going to be super scary for this Medusa and Agni with the far-reaching abilities. Obviously, Agni can answer with bombs and many other abilities, but the Medusa will be locked in. A lot of trades will go on here. I want to talk about the Thor. That Thor is going to be a big thing here, and you have to land those big ultimates because we have a lot of dashes here, a lot of jumps. He's got to play out of his mind here.
It's going to be tough, but Spence Spark has some talent, so got to be careful if you're Eclipse. Can't trust the dashes too much. But with that, everybody's locked in. We're ready to go. We'll be right back, and we'll meet you in game number 1 of this set.
I could get drunk off the lights of a city. Late night phone calls just to say you miss me, but you don't. No, you don't. Drop my phone now, that shit's broken. 2 a.m. and I'm lost in Brooklyn, missing home. I know you don't. When we were on, I'd always thought we would make it, but now you're gone. Baby, you're a ghost. I'm caught up in a landslide, mental on the low end. When I used to feel alive, now there's a hole in the city, can't feel shit. Where do I go? Cause I know you don't feel this. Can't catch a break for God's sakes. Feel like I'm waking up and I'm caught in the wake. Yeah, I know this is my funeral on parade. I did it to myself cause I always thought you would feel the same, and I know you don't. Drunk off the lights of a city, late night phone calls just to say you miss me, but you don't. No, you don't. Drop my phone now, that shit's broken. 2 a.m. and I'm lost in Brooklyn, missing home. I know you don't. Let's hit the brakes. I'm pulling out the parachute, jumping out the plane. You had it all in front of you, nothing feels the same. It's crazy what love can do, even crazier when it's not coming back to you. You say you need space, so I gave you all the states. Every night a different place. Used to think we're getting close, and now we're drifting away. And all I can say is that I'm feeling wasted. I could get drunk off the lights of a city. Late night phone calls just to say you miss me,
Hello, we're back. It's game one between Dark Omen and Eclipse, and MentalDepressed is showing mental fortitude here with the Ganesh selection in the jungle. Let's do it. Fenix, talk to me about the Ganesh jungle.
What can I say? This is a rare pick that I've never seen before, so this will be a really interesting game for both of us. The jungle, Ganesha, to speak of, not picking Bumba Spear or anything like that. Any of the Bumba's Hammer, Bumba Spear, not going to be an option.
Yeah, it's gonna be interesting to see. The build path is gonna be the key here. I mean, it's not like there's a world where it's 100% impossible it works out. You just gotta make the right plays and utilize what makes the kit strong. Dash in from Cube, blink from MentalDepressed onto NeptuneSpartan, getting a lot of damage early. And now Cube is kind of caught out far ahead, and Sparks gets the first kill of the game, going the way of Dark Omen. Nice response there.
Agni dashing in is always a danger, and he took that danger but had to pay the price for it as well, of course. If you're going to dash in as Agni and try to get that kill in the early game, they obviously landed almost every single ability and got a lot of damage. DrJDM looking very dangerously close to death here, but will dash away and barely survive thanks to a good dash from him. But anyways, Agni, unlucky for that. Just bad dash, bad early game. Just it works out like that sometimes. But he'll come back, he'll get the answer.
Yeah, that was a close dash for the Doctor. And now we got Thor showing face over in the duo lane as well, looking to secure the shield. DrJDM caught out by the wall, taking a good bit of damage, but it's not quite enough to kill the Horus quite yet. Will secure the shield buff here. You know, that Horus support is going to be something to watch this game too, and really how it sets up this Medusa early, because Medusa's going to need to get a good footing in the door to be able to handle the soul.
Yeah, that Horus is going to need to really... It's going to... Late game is obviously going to be a great answer. Forcing the Saturate and all those types of things from the soul will be awesome as a Horus. But this early game, it's a much more rough. You cannot step up to a soul in the early game, especially with how mage ADCs are right now, and especially with that exact build. But it looks like DrJDM has no fear and will step up to him all the time.
Yeah, respectable for sure. MentalDepressed taking a lot of damage from the Thor. Double tap does not clean up the damage. There's the benefit of being a Guardian with the bit of protections there early on to help you out. Close call, though.
Yeah, we have a really good start here from Spark, but also a great dash coming out from DrJDM, who is obviously not scared at all, and a great pick on a cookie named Joe.
Yeah, that was nicely done, and a big kill for the Medusa going off of the Lacerate here. It was close. For a second, I thought maybe we would see some body blocking out from Voulg, but it was probably smart to play that safe. You wouldn't want to fall down alongside your ADC pal there and give the Medusa more kills, because like we were just talking about, this Soul's got a good matchup here early, so you don't want to throw it away too much.
Yeah, and that's a great start for that Medusa. NoobLet is obviously very happy to see a Medusa succeeding in the SDL as it speaks right now. Would love to see also CubeDaFace succeed on the Agni. But yes, Medusa, if she can keep this up, I mean, Soul will go behind and keep going behind. It's going to be a hard answer to come back as a Soul. And obviously, once she hits level 20, a Soul becomes very scary. But I don't know if it's as scary as a Medusa. I mean, putting someone to stone, ooh.
Hard to tell who got it. Looks like it was DrJDM, got the shield buff. So good victory for Eclipse with the contest, but there's a lot of damage coming out. And the Doctor and Looney got to get out of there quickly. That was not a fight they wanted to take, but they got the experience and got out of dodge. So successful overall for Eclipse.
Yeah, let's see more of Eclipse here. Let's hope for more from them as we have a little dance-off here. Level 5 Ganesha, MentalDepressed, kind of pushing ahead of Spencer here by just a little bit.
Link from MentalDepressed onto NeptuneSpartan. Just a bit of damage coming out. Rainfire as well, but not too much for a lockdown. So that's the blink down to Ganesh. Sparks heading to duo, looking for a gank. Wall down on LuneyToons. And the teleport gets the kill for Sparks on the LuneyToons. DrJDM falling low, but the dash will secure the safety of the Doctor for the time being. MentalDepressed showing face, but a little too late to make any plays here. And it should turn into a jungle invade, though not much is there.
Really well done by Neptune there to go ahead and escape from the mid lane gank and allow for the Thor to do work. But Thor says, I want more. Spencer says, I want a lot more out of this side of the map, because he's over there with 3 people around him as of right now.
Wow, yeah, Rainfire, Lacerate, Petrify, everybody's dropping abilities on the Thor, making sure he cannot fly away. DrJDM walks into the Supernova and gets picked up by a cookie named Joe and the Souls got a kill on the board.
Really well done by Soul there, seeing a Horus. As we said, you know, Horus can walk at a Soul as much as he wants, but he will be punished in the early game. And currently, it's still the early game. It's only about 5 minutes into this game, and if you walk at a Soul, you're going to be punished up and until at least 15 minutes as a support.
Yeah, it's dangerous. Honestly, I think the best time of this game for DrJDM is probably going to be now, as you're getting to that point where you can rotate out and kind of leave the duo lane back to its devices and not have to worry about being in the Soul's face anymore.
Yeah, of course you're walking into a Merlin in mid who is not even that much better and will become a lot more dangerous at level 15 or so. But man, yeah, great job by Soul to be able to get that kill. And I agree with you. Horus is begging to get out of that lane right now and go and hopefully hit a flashing, what's it called? Flicker? Merlin's
Flicker,
third ability?
correct.
Yeah, Flicker, correct. He'd rather have that probably than a Soul. You're correct.
Yeah, for sure. Wall off the mark, hammer as well on Cubed. So we see first item Ganesh Jungle going Chronos Pendant here. Give me your thoughts on that item path. It's kind of a hard path to really give too much analysis on because it's not something we see commonly. I don't hate it, but I'm having a hard time thinking of a better option for Ganesh Jungle.
Yeah, I really can't think of much either. Maybe you go like the Book of Thoth. I don't know, but like
Yeah,
you're not going to be able to stack it.
Exactly. It would have been kind of. It's tough. I mean, I really do see a world where it works. It's just kind of awkward. And MentalDepressed feeling very confident, hanging out in the jungle of Spence Spark right now and chasing all the way to the blue buff for a potential invade. I don't think Spence even realizes Ganesh is behind. Spence just realizes it. And a bit of a standoff between the two junglers. It's so weird seeing a Ganesh having a damage standoff in the jungle.
Yeah, you would never expect that. With Chronos Pendant, of course, it just allows you to use your abilities more. I think that's all it really is. Supernova being used here, and Medusa will answer
There's the
with a big
Lacerate.
dash.
Ooh, the spit! Cleans up the solo kill for LuneyToons.
Really good kill, LuneyToons right there. That was a smart play. Missing Supernova right now. Thor goes up into the air, Spence does, but decides to go back in.
There's the dash.
Wow.
You called it earlier, said the dashes are going to be a problem. MentalDepressed dashes into the Bastion and cannot get the kill on Spence Sparks thanks to the beads. And the fight simmers out following that. It looked like there was an opening to take out the Thor, but they couldn't quite find it. And you called it. Those dashes going to be a problem for the Thor.
Yeah, a lot of dashes. You have to be able to catch those, and that's what I was saying. It's either a win or a loss in that situation. Either you catch the dashes or you don't. But in that situation, obviously, he was not able to catch it, able to get right back to the Bastion. The Agni was really well done by CubeDaFace to get out of that one.
Gear Chief and Trollacadimy trading blows. 2 Season 1 SDL veterans going at it in the Soul Lane. Familiar tale. These guys know how the other plays. I think they may have even... I could be wrong, so forgive me if I'm incorrect, players, but I think they even teamed in Season 1 at one point. Maybe it was Scouting Grounds. But fun to see them go against each other. As we see just a bit of pressure coming out from Spence in the duo lane, but not much there. You know, with you talking about these dashes, it makes me think of really just how difficult it can be to play Thor and how overlooked it is just because the character has such a reputation as being somehow both a pub stomp and a really high ceiling competitive character.
Yeah, Thor is not Thanatos. That's the thing you got to think about, is Thor is not Thanatos, he is not Mercury, he is not these gods. Obviously, Mercury has a late game, but Thor, if he gets 3 kills in the early game, it's over. Like, Thor's Thor, and he's going to do that. But if he does not get 3 kills or he fades out in the late game, I mean, you've lost a player on the map. It's very difficult. And obviously, it's all about that wall. You can place a wall in a very strategic way so that these dashes, these ones that don't get off the ground, so not obviously Odin jump or anything like that, ones that are stay on the ground, Agni dash, flame wave, those types of things. Those are the ones that Thor can stop. And speaking of Thor, big dunk here.
Hammer was off the mark, and LuneyToons gets to survive for now after the anvil was not fully there. Voulg might be caught out a little bit. DrJDM doing work, but LuneyToons just too low to chase us any further. So again, just a bit of an off-the-mark ultimate from Spence prevents any further action. Cube taking a lot of damage in mid, but safe for now, and a blue buff invade that was successful for Trollacadimy. So action across the map. But it was like you caster cursed it. Maybe that's your first one. Is this your first regular season game about those ultimates and the dash and just making sure they're on point? As that was the only reason LuneyToons got out of there.
Yeah, once again, we're Yeah, I might be cursor casting these guys. Do you want me to say some other things? Okay, Dark Omen 3-0. I don't know, 2-0. Sorry, excuse me. Okay, let's see, what else can I say? Yamoja ult gonna be used here and to try to catch a Ganesha, but Ganesha says, you know what my passive is, right? Like.
And Ganesh broke through in the fight. It's kind of awkward here for Cubed. Has to play it safe. Already very low. And the 1v1s are surprising me in duo lane, but Radiant's going to put CookieNamedJoe at a big advantage here against the LuneyToons, who did not go the Aussie path, needing to go that ability path for Medusa. SpenceSpark going up into the air with the Anvil, looking for Cube. Changes his mind, peeks back down to Doctor, goes back to Cube, back over, lands, hits DrJDM, and walks away. Tough target selection. The mana was a big factor in that, so it was tough. And maybe some split comms as well. NeptuneSpartan falling low, Rain of Fire just off the mark. So was the Vortex, and the mid laners walk away.
Wow, a lot of low health people here, and that was funny with the Thor being up in the air with about 2 mana left. Had to decide which target he was going to go on. Purple going to be invaded here, and CubeDaFace will get the kill on Neptune in the middle lane. Oh. And that pro buff was actually stolen, I believe. It looks like it's down on gray. So
yeah, it was stolen. And yeah, you know what I think the issue might have been there is that Spence didn't have mana, like we pointed out, and Cubed was in a bad spot. But I think Neptune was like, I'm not sure if I can confirm this kill, which was enough for Spence to be like, I don't want to give the Agni a free kill either, and it was just enough to split the call there. We talked about it. It's the trust.
Yeah, it's the big time of the trust, and with trust, you have to play for a long time. You don't just gain trust from 1 second to the next. I had to try out to be a caster. You know, Anthony had to watch me while I did it. And so if I was over here being a bad player, then that would not be good for the team. But hopefully all these guys are being great, it seems, right now. They've been great on the rotations, and right now this fight in Soul Lane is literally just a brawl.
It's just a brawl, and nobody's dead yet. MentalDepressed here on the gank, and Gear Chief just pushed up. MentalDepressed Dharmic Pillars come out, and the damage is there from the Elephant Jungle, and Trollacademy gets the kill on the Gear Chief.
Wow, really well done there. Voulg going to find himself surrounded by 3 players, though, but Spence will go up, and looking for MentalDepressed he is. Will land the ultimate right onto his head, use the big old spin to try and secure a kill, and will get it with a basic attack.
River's Rebuke comes out, 2 stuck in between. NeptuneSpartan in a really good position to do some good damage here. SpenceSpark has to use the Purification Beads because Cubed is in the back line and doing numbers, but Rain of Fire off the mark. And now Cubed is the one in a weird position, cut off between 3. DrJDM can't get to Cube to get him out quite yet. Voulg, Neptune, and Spence collapse on Agni. There's the beads and the dash through, and it's well done by Cube. Should be safe. DrJDM might have to sacrifice himself, but the mid laner survives.
Ooh, basic attacks from the Voulg is gonna maybe kill. Oh, he gets out.
The bubble's no good, and DrJDM escapes. So well played by the new pickup on Eclipse. That was shocking to watch.
Yeah, really good heal. That was very close to a very bad death for that situation, and so well done by the new soul laner for Eclipse. And
LuneyToons got to be careful here. Has to dash away quickly. CookieNamedJoe looking for a Petrify. He's going to find it. One more basic will do it. It's a solo kill for LuneyToons. Pyromancer also being pulled. Pyro falls to Dark Omen. Makes up for the solo kill in the dual lane, and Cubed has to fall back.
Ooh, looking rough right now for a CookieNamedJoe, but man, LuneyToons is in a dangerous position, but hiding behind a wall, can't see him. Ooh, unlucky enough to mark by Spence, can't really find it, and LuneyToons says, I will find your purple buff.
That's tough. I felt that. We have a different perspective than they do, but DrJDM has nothing in his sights but NeptuneSpartan falling down low. Flicker away, and I don't think they have the damage for it. If they step up, Vortex is there. So Neptune gets to live. Spence finally found LuneyToons. Has to find the damage now is the key. There's the hammer. Berserk. Wall off the mark. Basic has to hit. Spence finds it and picks up the kill on the LuneyToons, if not a little bit delayed.
Yeah, obviously the ultimate came out. Everything came out. It felt like from Spence to get that kill. Had to use every bone in the body to get that one. But that being said, really well done with the wall there. I think that is what he needs to be looking to do throughout the rest of this game, which is kind of not use it to catch people in their dashes, but make it so they can't go to other places with their dashes. And that's what I was going to say earlier, but now I get the opportunity to say it. Really well done there.
For sure, and I mean, as we saw in the Legend of Fenix and Scouting Grounds, You definitely know your way around the jungle, so some good advice here. Charts are very even, kills are very even. This is a very even matchup so far. And, you know, when we were doing the draft for Divine, these two teams really stuck out to me as teams that were very matched even. SpenSpark and Voulg are around the back of the tier 1 tower, and Q might be caught out. Dashes through. River's Rebuke already down. SpenSpark goes in the back. Needs one more basic. Can't find it. Going to go into the anvil and doesn't need it as Voulg finds that one. DrJDM is low, but SpenSpark's playing it safe. Lands down a MentalDepressed, who's taken a lot of damage from Berserk. Trollacademy on the rotation. Odin Wall locks in Spence. Supernova does not quite clean up to get Spence out of there, and Spence falls to Trollacademy. Gear Chief now jumping down onto DrJDM with the horse. NeptuneSpartan trying to get out of dodge, but cannot. Falls down to LuneyToons. Voulg and CookieNamedJoe are now at risk of the Odin, and the bird bomb hits, but look at the damage on the LuneyToons from Soul. Petrify comes out, and CookieNamedJoe falls to Trollacademy, and Voulg falls as well. The Odin's cleaning house. It's a double kill for the solo laner.
Dark Omen really needed to take that fight a little bit differently, in my opinion. I would say that they had 3 people behind that tower, I believe, and 2 people in front of it. If we would have had a more grouping stage with like a with a Guan Yu on your team, you have a great opportunity to get a lot of kills. And now, speaking of this Guan Yu, bombs, bombs, bombs. Goodness gracious, Hellfire out of the air from CubeDaFace will land all 3 bombs right onto Gear Chief's face and kill him.
And this is going to turn into a Gold Fury call from Eclipse, which is a great call. As Thor Ultimate is up, that will be the main thing to contest here. I don't think Merlin's going to get there in time. Gold Fury down to 25% health. Thor and Merlin on the way. Dark Pillars pulled. Gold Fury going to fall down to Eclipse. There's the hammer, though. It lands on Trollacademy and picks up a kill for SpenSpark, who is instantly dashed down by MentalDepressed, and the damage is good. LuneyToons kills the Thor.
Good rotation onto that Thor immediately after doing Gold Fury, obviously losing Trollacademy to the Thor, but then saying, you're not getting away with that. That's not a good thing for you to be doing. And we speak about the Ganesha again. Really well done by the Ganesha. Soul Gem coming out second from them.
You know, in a weird way, even taking out the actual characters from this composition, I think that this unique team comp from Eclipse is playing to their benefit. It kind of loosens things up, and they're playing off of it well, and I think it makes them play more relaxed. Voulg might be caught out here from LuneyToons. CookieNamedJoe trying to get his support out of there, and should be the case for now. Close call for Voulg, though.
Yeah, really good ult there. Had to use it, sadly, which means in the next team fight probably will not have it up. It's going to take a long time for it to come up. That being said, yes, you are correct. Eclipse is utilizing all of these tanks that they have very well. Trollacademy especially, finding some great ults, being 4-1. Very tanky right now, very hard to kill. But Wall will land onto one of those dashers I was talking about earlier. Really well done there by Spence. If he can keep doing that, then this might be a bigger game than just 18 minutes for Eclipse.
Yeah, for sure. Pyromancer being looked at for Eclipse. Blinking for MentalDepressed. Dark Pillars come out some pretty decent damage as well. Got to respect the elephant at the moment. Now we're split, though. Dark Omen has their members all across the map. Eclipse looking for some damage, but can't quite find it. It's DrJDM and Cubed are a bit too low. Odin Cage came out, but there wasn't a lot of damage to follow. And now both teams are split, despite Eclipse having the advantage for the moment. And oddly enough, this turns into a bit of an Eclipse retreat.
Yeah, Dark Omen are going to pick up this Pyromancer and try to get it, but there are still 4 from Eclipse around here, and 2 are getting separated out for Dark Omen. A big ultimate coming out from Medusa.
Trollacademy looking to make an opening for some damage onto NeptuneSpartan and company, and there's a good bit of damage out from MentalDepressed. Bird Bomb follows. Everyone's half health for Dark Omen, who's left in this fight, but Eclipse just cannot secure the damage. They're going to look to pull the Pyro now, and it should be a pretty free Pyro, as Dark Omen seems to be conceding it, with the only person staying behind being a CookieNamedJoe. Pyromancer down to half. Cookie still hanging out. MentalDepressed is on the case. Looking for some good damage on Cookie. There's a slam down from Spence. Finds some members, but gonna find his demise as well. Nice attempt for the steal, just a bit too late. Unfortunately, Trollacademy has a double kill after finding NeptuneSpartan. And now Dark Omen's got really nowhere to go. Gear Chief goes on the horse and tries to separate the 3 members from the chase and finds a 3-man stun. Very clean from Gear Chief. Is it enough to get everybody out, though, is the question, because Trollacademy is still diving deep. Rain, Fire, River's Rebuke Everyone's pushing buttons, but nobody's pushing them harder than LuneyToons. 7 kills for the Medusa.
LuneyToons in that fight itself went from mid tower, got tier 1 mid, to securing the buff, the Pyromancer, to then I believe getting 2 kills in that team fight. Really well done by LuneyToons. Probably the star of that play right there. Of course, as well as Trollacadimy, who I was just commenting about. He obviously was one of the most instrumental parts of that fight, leading his team as the front runner, causing damage to 4 players at one bird bomb. Probably one of the greatest things you can have out of a soul laner is someone who can control team fights and can control what's going on both sides of the map. And so right now, Trollacademy, I know him from a lot of our in-houses in SDL, very scary once he gets to that late game, and hopefully he can continue that in this SDL competitive league right now.
I really like players like that, picking up characters like an Odin who can make a difference. I mean, the damage can certainly get to a point where it's, you know, you can kind of take a bird bomb on the chin with certain builds and be unaffected, but the mistake you make when you do that is you don't understand what the kind of work that Odin is setting you up for. And that is somewhere where Trollacademy has always really shined. In Eclipse, they've had some split calls, but every time that they seem to follow up on both Trollacademy and, for that matter, when they follow up on DrJDM, who normally is more trying to get his team out, the plays are there. Gear Chief gets dashed on, down to half health quick. And we might see another split call on the fight here, so things are calm for the moment.
As of right now, yeah, but this is another dance. This is another dance like we just had 3 minutes ago or 2 minutes ago at Pyromancer, where one team will have a pick probably come out here, and they're looking for right now Eclipses.
And they listen to your advice. They follow Trollacademy in and look at the damage that's being done, but nowhere near as much as what's done in DrJDM. Slam down from Spence. It does good damage. Now Spence is caught out. Has to use the Purification Beads. River's Rebuke comes out, but doesn't find anybody. Trollacademy jumps away, and Eclipse is in retreat mode, but they get away with a shocking amount. I mean, CubeDaFace still has both actives up and is ready to go, so Primal Fury is not going to be free here for Dark Omen if they try to take it. Might be not even worth the fight at this point because we're still dancing, and it's been not 5, but 3 to 4 minutes now.
Yeah, this dance is going to go on for a while as well because it's just respawns. DrJDM is back here again, but here comes Trollacademy one more time, this time with a big cage onto 2 different players. They will get out, though.
ACookieNamedJoe down to half out. Dharmic Pillars come out. MentalDepressed trying to play it safe. Very low. Trollacademy looking for ACookieNamedJoe. Gear Chief finds CubeDaFace, and ACookieNamedJoe is still alive. No longer. Trollacademy finds a kill onto the soul. LuneyToons in the back, gets a nice crit on NeptuneSpartan and picks up the kill there. Turns and sees Voulg. Gonna go for a chase. The silence wasn't good to keep the emoji there. And now it's Gear Chief versus the world for the moment. Spence does have that ultimate, though, so look for him to engage here on the Primal Fury. Everybody's grouped around it, so it's good.
Really well done here by Eclipse again. Troll going in. I mean, this guy's been here for 3 fights now, hasn't backed in 20 minutes. Spence will come out with a big ultimate and a wall that will not land on the mark. Who will get the Gold Fury, though? Dark Omen will get it with a big steal coming out from Thor. Thank God for him.
Gear Chief gonna have to fall down with it. Well, maybe not, has the horse, and it's a chase. Dark Pillar chunks, but doesn't chunk enough, and Voulg's here for the defense. Gear Chief gets away. 1 death and the Fury steal. Dark Omen will take that, thank you very much. The dance pays off for Omen.
Yeah, it does. As of right now, at least, the next dance is a much more important dance. It's the Fire Giant dance, which will kind of put you into the choice of who's going to take this game even farther. Who's going to get these towers, these tier 2 towers, and make this game much more difficult for the other team. Speaking of that, we have an 0-2 Ganesh. Ganesha, come on, man, get some kills.
I was really hoping we'd see it. I thought maybe we'd find an interesting circumstance where we saw the Ganesh alone, but you know, we talked about there's not really a cookie cutter framework to follow here for a Ganesh jungle. I mean, obviously it's you know, this is the first time it's ever been done, but for the most part, you're kind of just, you got to feel it out and go with what works and what makes sense. And I like the build so far. I like the Ethereal Staff. It's going to put in some work here. Soul Jam's a clean pickup, and MentalDepressed is playing this as well as I could possibly imagine a Ganesh jungle being played.
Pyromancers are going to be pulled here right now by Eclipse, and will actually secure this one. Almost stolen right there by Spence. I wanted to make a comment on something. Oh, or maybe not. It looks like we might have a little bit of a pick here.
Gear Chief running around, ring around the Rosie in the Odin ring. Does get away for now. Plenty tanky to get out of there. And the boys in blue are around the side waiting to come for Gear Chief. We've now got a Fire Giant dance. Objective to objective. I think these guys forgot they were even lanes for the last 7 minutes, which is always fun to see and watch. Cube gets caught out by the Thor wall. Good damage follows, but there's a Dharmic Pillar to create some separation. MentalDepressed goes in, but it's taken a lot of damage, and Thor's up in the air. NeptuneSpartan kills MentalDepressed, and Spence lands on 2, but LuneyToons deletes Spence for even thinking about it. Gear Chief kills CubeDaFace in the back. There's the Petrify, nobody home. Soul damage is now online, and look at what it's done to the Horus. Look at what it did to LuneyToons, and Gear Chief takes advantage with the double kill. The chase ensues, and Neptune cleans up DrJDM, and now Eclipse is down to just Trollacademy. This is a free Fire Giant.
Hopefully it's a free Fire Giant. Let's hope that Trollacademy doesn't turn this back around and come and try to steal this himself, which is very possible. I mean, that is a very scary god, as I was talking about 15 minutes ago. And he is here, ready to 4v1 the entirety of Dark Omen.
And Dark Omen has to turn and respect it. They can't even fully commit to fire. ACookieNamedJoe walked off for a moment, and there was no damage being done. Now MentalDepressed is respawned, and Fire Giant's down to about 25%, and Trollacademy still causing trouble. Fire Giant's down to 10, and Trollacademy standing right there. Dark Omen manages to secure the Fire Giant, and Trollacademy falls, not from lack of trying. Trollacademy's still alive, and Dharmic Pillars gets him out of there. Wow. Okay, Trollacademy. Put some respect in the name, I guess.
Yeah, that was awesome. Really well done there by Trollacademy. Obviously was not able to steal it, but it kind of sucks that Dark Omen actually let him have the chance to steal that. Like, that was almost a really bad situation for them. But instead, they actually ended up securing it. Of course, they had a lot of good, with the Soul there and the Thor there, sorry, the Merlin there. A lot of secure, plenty of damage. But all it takes is one good spear, and it's gone. That Fire Giant is not yours. So really well done, though, for securing that. Congrats to Dark Omen, because they are back into this game.
Yeah, this game is shockingly close. As we take a look at the damage, or excuse me, the gold and experience charts, 2,400 difference in gold, experience about even. You were making a point before Fire Giant that got lost in the chaos. I wanted to give you a second to go back to that point.
Yeah, I was actually going to bring up something, which is that Yamoja's built. There is an Absolution, I believe, right there, which is a very rare item that you don't see that often. It's the magical protection item, a new item this season.
Gonna have to wait as Trollacademy is creating chaos once again. Dark Pillars, River's Rebuke, everyone's pushing 4, but nothing's coming of it again. I take it back. Spence Sparks lands down on top of MentalDepressed. Gonna clean up the kill on to Ganesh, but what's it gonna cost? Might cost Spence Spark his life. LuneyToons doing work, but getting chunked down. Eclipse is having a tough time finding an opening to get their damage across. ACookieNamedJoe stuck in the middle of Trollacademy's gaze and took some damage, but there's just no damage coming off from Eclipse because Cubed and LuneyToons are not in the midst of things. We talked about it in Picks and Bans, and it's showing true here. If you can't get your damage in there, you've just got none. Trollacademy's doing what he can to make an opening, but needs the response. DrJDM and Cubed are not even close to Trollacademy, so all this peel was for nothing as Trollacademy falls down to NeptuneSpartan. Gear Chief now goes in on Cubed and DrJDM to try to open up a play for his team. We'll see if this soul laner gets more backup than Eclipse got. Diving deep on Cubed, and guess what? It's not the case. CubeDaFace had to use Aegis, but is alive. Primal Fury was pulled, so it was a separation tactic from Gear Chief, and it was clean at that. Dark Omen gets a Primal Fury. Will they get LuneyToons with it? Gonna be close. LuneyToons doing as much as he can, but it's not enough. NeptuneSpartan gets the kill.
This is how every one of these fights feel like they're going. It feels like Eclipse always has the upper hand, and then one drops, and then another one drops, and then another one drops. It never works out the way that you want it to, and that's because we were just saying it. It's not enough damage. I mean, Ganesha is not. He's third lowest damage in the game right now. Right behind, right next to the two supports currently in this match. And so that's not what you want from your jungler. You want them to be doing top 2, top 3 damage every single game. And if they can't do that, it's really not worth picking that god in that role. Dharmatic Pillars, obviously, great ability. Omen, obviously a great ability as a support, and those types of things. But in jungle, does not do as much as it needs to.
It almost feels like Eclipse has lost some of their swagger they had going on early in the game, where it almost felt like they were having fun with the Ganesh pick, with how they were playing dual lane, and it kind of feels like that's fallen to the wayside, and now it almost kind of feels like they're a bit hesitant to all completely go in on a target. Maybe it's split comms. It's tough to pinpoint, but it's certainly not all is lost. I mean, the game is dead even, but there's a lot of small things that are not quite clicking here.
Yeah, I think if you're gonna do this kind of comp, you need to give both Odin and Horus some tank, but some damage. Maybe a Crusher on the Odin, or a Jotun Draft, a Brawler's Beat Stick, some kind of penetration, kind of damage, so that you can compensate for the fact of a jungle Ganesha. Same goes for Horus. Maybe put a Hydra Lament or a Heartseeker, whatever it is. You can put anything onto any of these gods to make them just do a little bit more damage instead of just being straight up tanks, because tanks can do a lot for your team, but they cannot kill people as well.
Yeah, and if it feels like we're harping on Eclipse, the main thing here is it feels like at the beginning of every fight, which we might see here again in a second, every time a fight starts, it feels like Eclipse has the advantage. We'll see if the story repeats here. Trollacademy, DrJDM around the side, run into Gear Chief, and it looks like SpenceSpark as well, kind of in an awkward spot. Fire Giant being pulled. SpenceSpark goes up into the air. Fire Giant down to 25% health. Make it 10%. Who's going to get it? Eclipse steals the Fire Giant away from Dark Omen. And Gear Chief is in the back, surrounded right now. Not going to last very long against everybody. Credit for the kill goes to the Horus. Trollacademy ready to make some plays with the man advantage. MentalDepressed leads the way. Silence on a cookie named Joe. LuneyToons cleans up Voulg. Cube cleans up Joe. And Eclipse has turned this game on its head. We were talking about the swagger, and Eclipse found it.
Wow, and they're all full health. Do you see that? That's what a Horus will do for you, and that's what, obviously, Fire Giant will do for you. That was an enhanced Fire Giant right there. 32 minutes into this game, they're going for this middle Fenix and possibly an end to this game, considering you got 30 seconds until the next person spawns.
NeptuneSpartan falling low. Trollacademy dives in deep and finds it. SpenceSpark's trying to clean up anybody he can, but gets caught out and gets deleted. Deicide goes the way of Eclipse, and guess what? Caster's curse be damned. Eclipse is going to take the victory in game number 1, despite all the odds in every team fight. Unreal that they came back to win this game. We'll be right back with the post game to discuss the chaos that we just saw.
I could get drunk off the lights of a city. Late night phone calls just to say you miss me, but you don't. No, you don't.
Welcome back after a chaotic end to game number 1. As we were just harping on Eclipse, they turn the game on its head and they find the swagger that may have been missing at that time. Fenix, talk me through what you saw there in the last couple minutes.
Yeah, we saw a lot. We've said his name a lot. We said it throughout the entirety of the early game. We said it through the late game. Trollacademy, really well done. I think he just led his team as well as he could. I think DrJDM did the same, of course, following right along with him. But man, the two of them combined were just creating space for LuneyToons and CubeDaFace to just drop poison and drop bombs and do these types of things they really needed to do. I hope that in this next game, obviously we're already talking about the next game. We just finished this last game, but hopefully the next game they can do the same for their jungler, because I don't feel that MentalDepressed was doing the same thing that LuneyToons and CubeDaFace were doing. Obviously creating space for his team, but that's usually what a support does, not what a jungler does.
Yeah, as we wrap up here in game 1, I think the main thing that the Ganesh jungle brought, honestly speaking, may have just been a good overall feel to the game, and maybe took some of the pressure off the comms, having fun in your first competitive set. so far this season, but I definitely want to see MentalDepressed pick up something more traditional. It doesn't have to be the Thanatoses or the Cleodonas of the world. I just want it to be something a little bit more damage-oriented for MentalDepressed to really lead everybody through.
Achilles, a warrior.
Achilles could go good. Yeah, something... Because if it's something tanky that MentalDepressed is looking for, those options exist, and if you want to lean on Looney and Cube for the damage, clearly you can. I mean, Looney dropped 43k. You just gotta... I think there's a better way of doing it that gives you a bit more out of the jungle. And Dark Omen, I mean, realistically, Dark Omen played a really clean game. They just lost the most important fight, and sometimes that's how Smite goes. But I think that's enough about Game 1. We'll be right back with Game number 2 of this set between Dark Omen and Eclipse in the Divine Division.
I could get drunk off the lights of a city, late night phone calls just to say you miss me, but you don't. No, you don't. Drop my phone now, that shit's broken. 2 a.m. and I'm lost in Brooklyn, missing home. I know you don't. When we were on, I'd always thought we would make it, but now you're gone. Baby, you're a ghost. I'm caught up in a landslide, mental on the low end. When I used to feel alive, now there's a hole in the city, can't feel shit. Where do I go? Cause I know you don't feel this. Can't catch a break for God's sakes. Feel like I'm waking up and I'm caught in the wake. Yeah, I know this is my funeral on parade. I did it to myself cause I always thought you would feel the same, and I know you don't. Drunk off the lights of a city, late night phone calls just to say you miss me, but you don't. No, you don't. Drop my phone now, that shit's broken. 2 a.m. and I'm lost in Brooklyn, missing home.
Hello and welcome back to the Smite Draft League. Game 1 had tons of twists and turns. Let's talk P's and B's and see if the twists and turns continue with the God selections. I'm still Anthony Malum, he's still Fenix, and Soul is the first off the board.
Yeah, that makes sense. You don't want them to have it, but you don't want to have it either. Let's go ahead and get rid of it.
Yeah.
Make it so that no one can have it, kind of thing. I hope to see all all four mage ADCs banned here. I would love to see a 2 physical ADC lane. Pretty cool, because obviously with how we were speaking about last game, 2 physical ADCs is much more interesting than probably just a mage ADC nowadays. It kind of feels like it, at least.
Yeah. Same thing with the assassin ADCs. They're just... And so we had our season opener, which was godlike, and a big thing that Kingfisher and I were talking about was it felt like assassin ADCs... I mean, while the laning phase and rotations are... and team fights, everything's fantastic, you get to structures.
Yeah.
You get to objectives, and you don't have that Chronos, that Soul, in terms of mage ADCs. You don't have that Rama, that we'll throw back. We'll say Apollo. You don't have those kinds of things. You feel it missing.
Yeah, you really do. I think you feel it after level 10, after level 15. You start to feel the difference. You're like, oh, wait a minute, we have this god instead of this one. And in the situation you were speaking of course, that was an example of Chronos versus like an Rama or an Apollo. While both are obviously talented and very good in their own ways, it comes down to how you build them. You can build pin, you can build crit, you can build attack speed, you can build... There are so many different options. You can build a little tanky if you want to on physical. It's kind of weird, but you can do it. Especially with how Berserker's Shield is nowadays. And that's how you can build on a Soul ADC. Another thing you can do with Mage ADCs that sometimes you don't do on physical ADCs. So there's a lot of variation coming out of that side of the map. But you have to stop that variation when you pick a Maui, because Maui becomes very scary, and an Olaran is an okay answer to that.
Yeah, I do like the all-around pickup. Maui, I have no statistics to back this up, but between Scouting Grounds and this being the third set we're on, I feel like I've seen Maui first picked as much as I've seen any mage ADC first picked.
Yeah, the tattooed hunk is a great guy. I mean, the man can.
Yeah, true.
There's a movie about him if you didn't know. There's not a
Oh yeah,
movie about
the
Bacchus.
documentary. Right.
Oh yeah, the frame for frame that they know exactly what happened with him. Yeah, Dwayne the Rock Johnson, well known as Maui. Great singer. He does not sing as well in this game, but a big pick here. Ishtar. We're not seeing a soul ADC this time coming out of Cookie named Joe. We're seeing a physical ADC, which is what we were just talking about, and the Guan Yu being picked up again for, I believe, Gear Chief on the side of Dark Omen.
Yeah, I like the Guan Yu run back. Gear Chief went kind of crazy on that. And you take it away from Trollacademy. Guan Yu is one of Trollacademy's more common gods. Assuming my memory serves me correctly, where if you're heavy Warcry, my memory did not serve me correctly. So there's always a world where that goes wrong. But taking that Guan Yu away, selecting it for yourself, you've got an Ishtar, you got a Maui. Team comp is looking strong right now if you're Dark Omen. I mean, Oleron Bacchus, certainly nothing to be teased, but I really like the Ishtar, Guan Yu, Maui. That's feeling strong for me right now.
And on Eclipse side, I personally don't know what they're thinking about right now. For me, this is Odin. This is Odin again.
Yeah.
This is a great comp for Odin. Oleron field into cage is one of the most devastating. It's about as bad as Shake and Bake back in the days. It's one of those things where you just you put people into so many negative effects, attack speed, damage, everything is so slowed and so negative on the fact of the enemy team that you will just dominate in those team fights. Of course, it will force them to get almost two. Well, they're not getting owned this time because it's banned out, but they would have to get two of the shells, the phantom shells, to be able to get out of that type of stuff, and a lot of beads.
You know, it's funny you mentioned the Odin because I was thinking the same thing. That would have been a really good selection there. I was almost surprised it wasn't one of the first three bans. I mean, we see that Dark Omen banned Agni. Honestly, I mean, I'm not taking anything away from Cubed. It was a good game. The damage was coming from LuneyToons on the Medusa. There was a 23,000 damage difference between the two characters. The Agni really wasn't the issue. So I almost feel like you're kind of setting up CubeDaFace to have an even nastier mid lane, so we'll have to see how that works out. The Hercules being hovered here, I like that. Oh, I like the Achilles more though, getting locked in. We were actually talking off camera about the Achilles, but maybe for the jungle, but I love it for Trollacademy. That feels like a match made in heaven.
It does. You have to land that stun, of course, onto Guan Yu when he's using Talus Assault. Is that the correct? That's Cavalry Charge. The ultimate Talus Assault is the 3. I mean, you have to land it. If you land that, Guan Yu, all he has is a dash. That's about it. And a heal. So if you can land that, then not mental, but it will be Trollacademy in the Soul lane will be able to win that lane pretty well. And of course, I'm actually happy to see something different from Trollacademy. This would be cool to see because he was very good on the Odin. Let's see how he does on the Achilles because this brings the more damage that I was talking about, right? This is the execute that we're looking for.
Yeah, for sure. I like this comp significantly more for Eclipse, and they won game 1. So, as picks and bans are going on, it's a pretty good spot to be in.
Yeah, and I think that Dark Omen kind of took a little bit of a page out of their book because our Ravana pick here is kind of that base tankiness that you're looking for out of a jungler sometimes. And that's the kind of comp that looks like that might be going for. You got a lot of heal, got a lot of self-sustain with, of course, Maui Bubble. And Ishtar obviously doesn't have any heals for anyone, but can peel like no one else. I mean, that ultimate is very hard to escape from as an enemy team. So a lot of good security and defense and back foot ability here from Dark Omen, and Kukulkan will bring that damage you need pretty well.
Yeah, I adore this team comp here from Dark Omen. It's not one of the team comps that you write up in a scrim or something as being like a priority. Let's try to get this, but this is a clean composition with options and damage all across the board. Same can be said for Eclipse, though. We all know. Options. I'm sure Fenix is going to mention it in game. But we all know my obsession with Rama, and on somebody as talented as LuneyToons, that is going to be a dangerous combination. And you got Oleron as well with the Hoombot setup. This is going to be an exciting game number 2. So let's stop waiting. We'll meet you in game number 2. We'll be right back.
I could get drunk off the lights of a city. Late night phone calls calls just to say you miss me, but you don't. No, you don't. Drop my phone now, that shit's broken. 2 a.m. and I'm lost in Brooklyn, missing home. I know you don't. When we were on, I'd always thought we would make it, but now you're gone. Baby, you're a ghost. I'm caught up in a landslide, mental on the low end. When I used to feel alive, now there's a hole in the city, can't feel shit. Where do I go? Cause I know you don't feel this. Can't catch a break for God's sakes. Feel like I'm waking up and I'm caught in a wake. Yeah, I know this is my funeral on parade. I did it to myself cause I always thought you would feel the same, and I know you don't. Drunk off the lights of a city, late night phone calls just to say you miss me, but you don't. No, you don't. Drop my phone now, that shit's broken. 2 a.m. and I'm lost in Brooklyn, missing home. I know you don't. Let's hit the brakes. I'm pulling out the parachute, jumping out the plane. You had it all in front of you, nothing feels the same. It's crazy what love can do, even crazier when it's not coming back to you. You say you need space, so I gave you all the states. Every night a different place. Used to think we're getting closer, now we're drifting away. And all I can say is that I'm feeling wasted. I could get drunk off the lights of a city, late night phone calls just to say you miss me, but you don't. No, you don't. Drop my phone now, that shit's broken. 2 a.m. and I'm lost in Brooklyn, missing home. I know you don't.
Welcome to game number 2. We've got 2 exciting team compositions for you this time. I'm still Anthony Malum. He's still Fenix. Let's do it.
Yes, sir. We got a Ola run mid. That's why I wanted to comment out first thing. Very questionable to do an Ola run mid. Okay, it's very dangerous because of the fact that it's not a Scylla, it's not a Giannis, it's not any of those gods. It's not even a Kukulkan right here, or however you want to say it, Kukulkan. It's going to be a very odd situation to be fighting, especially with this matchup. I've never seen an Ola run versus a Kukulkan. Have you ever seen that before?
Yeah, that is a unique one. And don't worry, I say Kukulkan too. I do not get super fancy with it. And it's gonna be it's an interesting one. It opens the door for some chaos, and there's no doubt Dark Omen's got some pretty nasty objectives secure, and Eclipse is not looking as great. I mean, you want to really get down and dirty with it. Fear No Evil isn't terrible. You've got Rama Snipes, but
I was
at
about
that
to say
point,
the same thing. I was about to
yeah,
say
you're
Fear No
splitting
Evil.
hairs.
Yeah, you're really trying to get that with a Fear No Evil, which is going to do 35 tick at level 5. Not that much damage. It's more about the fear than it is about the damage. But I mean, I guess on the opposite side, of course, Spear of the Nine Winds, correct? And
Yep.
Landfall, of course. Is it Landfall or Landfill?
Yeah, Landfall.
Landfall, yeah, that's right. Landfill, which is trash.
Yeah,
just
yeah,
like...
you're good. Spin Sparks on the early rotation here. Going to look to make a play on the Robin. Look for a potential 10. But he's being patient with it, trying to look for the perfect opening. They've got lane pressure, so he's going to go for the high route, and they're going to end up going for shield buff. Good call there. I don't think the opening was good enough. I think it could have been pretty disastrous, potentially.
Yeah, it could have been really bad. There was like a split second that he may have been able to go in, but that's not obviously what he saw. So MentalDepressed will come over and say, "Oh, there's no buffs over here. What am I supposed to do? I'm walking back to mid, I guess, to see if I can get some farm for my mid laner," which is already what Spence is doing.
Blink onto Cubed. Good damage coming out. Purification beads has to be dropped. MentalDepressed on the return and doing good damage to NeptuneSpartan, but Somersault does not quite hit the right target. Up, down, onto Spence, and now MentalDepressed has to go back and look for the side harpies. So a good return gank. It keeps Cubed safe, but doesn't quite pick up the kill.
Yeah, but that's what I'm talking about. As you are CubeDaFace, you cannot get out of those types of things as you have used your beads already now. That's it. You're done. You have your heal for some type of, like, escape, but not really. It's really going to be hard for Cube as he tries to get to the point where he has his ultimate.
Yeah, for sure. It's definitely an awkward feeling. A lot of damage coming out on the side of Eclipse. Got a bit aggressive, but CookieNamedJoe playing back. Jolt not going to be the play here. Looney gonna dash out, gonna be safe. But yeah, to go on your point for Older Run really quick, Consecration doesn't really have the greatest healing, especially early. I mean, you get 10 heal per tick, so just not a lot there. Spent Spark looking for LuneyToons, but maybe should have considered going for DrJDM. Goes for it now, and DrJDM gets hooked in. MentalDepressed here on the defense. We'll see. This is a similar tune to game number 1 when the Doctor got away. MentalDepressed somersault on ACookieNamedJoe, but he jolts away and is safe for now. And look at that. DrJDM is safe again.
It sounds like just like a repeat of last game. Level 3 Ravana just standing here looking at a mentally depressed monkey. That sounded horrible. I'm sorry. That sounded bad. But a mentally depressed Hoombots. There you go. Who had to jump away, as you just said, somersault away this time though. Yes, as CubeDaFace, the big thing about what was the ability called? The 3? Excuse me.
On Older Run? It's
yeah.
called Consecration.
Consecration. Yeah, the big thing about it is the only self-pill that Older Run has for himself is the knockup. That's basically it.
Yep.
Besides that, you have to put down the field and just pray that you're not going to get attacked.
That was a very nice jolt from CookieNamedJoe. That's going to go overlooked in highlight reels. It's going to go overlooked in VOD reviews, but that was a really good jolt. Survived the Astral Barrage, got away from the burp. Well done there from Joe.
Yeah, well played. I don't know if it was intended. It felt like it almost.
We'll pretend like it was. We'll give the credit.
Yeah, that's why that's why you were saying it might have been overlooked. But Joe is still here. Just at level 5. While Bacchus is looking possibly for a big flop. He will look for the flop and will not land it. Instead, will just say, "I'm just gonna go ahead and walk out." Oh, I'm not gonna walk out. I'm actually gonna walk back through the tower.
He's caught, and there's the Blades of Retribution, but they don't quite hit on the run back. So DrJDM's aggression does not come back to bite him in the hindquarters, but yeah. And to clean up what you said before, we do love MentalDepressed around here, and
yes,
it was just it certainly was a tough gank. But I gotta say, I already liked the Hoombots play significantly more than the Ganesh.
Yes, it feels a lot better to be there. Obviously, Spirit of the Nine Winds coming out will not land. Did it land on CubeDaFace?
I don't think so. I think it missed. I'm not sure. I don't think the slow counts on to Spirit since.
Yeah, it should be.
Yeah,
that'd be
kind
of funny though. But anyways, CubeDaFace will escape again. That's what he has to keep doing because otherwise he could have been losing his team this game already. But it's very surprising that he has survived 4 or 5 ganks already, and it's only been 5 minutes. So well done by CubeDaFace. If he can get to that late game, becomes a threat. Becomes a very big threat, especially with already having Telekines online.
Yeah, and to just wrap up my point and put a bow in it, MentalDepressed is already showing significantly signs of being more active on the map. On Ganesh, feels like there's more presence there and more damage. So I definitely am already fond of what I'm seeing out of MentalDepressed on a more traditional jungler. Yeah,
let's go and keep seeing it, right? Hoombots, obviously they thought that the last game worked. It worked well for them. They said, oh, that Ganesha worked, but this is a totally different comp from this team. And Hoombots kind of fits right into it. I mean, you have a big square from CubeDaFace, you have an Execute from Trollacademy, then you have a big circle from Hoombots, and then you have another big circle from DrJDM, and then you have a lot of 3 circles from LuneyToons. You're the one who can speak on LuneyToons. You know how to land a Marvel's-style Astral Barrage, in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, thank you for the compliment. It's I think Looney is somebody I'm excited to see pull out the Rama, and Rama versus Ishtar. You know, one of my favorite matchups used to be watching a Rama against a Ho Yi, and really that for me that's turned into Ishtar versus Rama. It's just such a fascinating matchup to watch. Before we have our next team fight, I do want to clarify, as I did get some on it, the ultimate did slow the Spirit of the Nine Winds, so the tech diff was definitely there from CubeDaFace for the survival.
That is awesome. I had no idea. That's what I mean. We've never had this matchup. So
yeah, it's a weird ultimate too. There's a lot of weird rules with how Sanctified Fields works.
Yeah, the the field, you never know if it's going to CC this or not CC that or whatever it's going to do. But obviously, basic attacks is one of the biggest things it does CC. It makes ADCs and mids' lives very difficult to be able to do it. And once again, Spirit of the Night Winds will come out and hit a mark this time, though.
It does. A Cubed once again gets away. It's much to the to impress our caster Fenix here. CubeDaFace playing it safe on the Oleron, and beads are almost up, so we'll get to continue playing it safe. DrJDM did step a bit far, but should be pretty safe on the Bacchus. Hard to imagine this turns into a death. Neptune gets cut off from putting in work onto the Doctor, and with MentalDepressed here, things should simmer out. LuneyToons and ACookieNamedJoe trading blows. Blades of Retribution slightly off the mark. LuneyToons has the advantage, has Astral Barrage, and could have maybe looked to go aggressive for it, but chooses not to. Now NeptuneSpartan alone with MentalDepressed and gets away. And there it is! I was just gonna say, 8 minutes and 34 seconds, we finally got our first blood. I was about to say something like,
Yeah.
are we watching an SPL play-in? These guys are completely different players in game number 2.
Oh, very different in this game, and this is why. Ooh, now speaking of different players, Gear right here, ready to get a kill right onto Trollacadimy. That's very different than what we had last game. Trollacademy was very dominant throughout the entirety of the game. Only had one death at like 15 minutes, 20 minutes into the game. This time, going down 9 minutes into the game will be the second blood for this time Dark Omen though.
Looks like LuneyToons did end up using Astral Barrage on ACookieNamedJoe, but did not secure the kill with it. Definitely has the pressure advantage, but it's going to turn into an invitation here for the rotation from Spent Sparks. LuneyToons will already be on shield buff, so more of just a buff secure. MentalDepressed might look to get aggressive and go for the steal on this purple buff, but not quite there in time, and Sacred Monkey not going to hit in time. And now MentalDepressed pulled in by Voulg, jumps, and LuneyToons like, hey man, let me get this shield buff before you bring the party here, and does secure it.
Yeah, I mean, when you're Voulg, you're fishing for everyone on this map, but when you're fishing for Rahum bots, it's a very scary thing for Rahum bots. Because all you have for yourself is a jump, and if you don't have that jump, I mean, you don't really have that much. You have a Fear No Evil, as we were talking about, but an overhead smash is not going to do a ton against a Voulg Maui. So very scary as a Rahum bots to be matched up against a Maui.
For sure. I'm interested to see how Voulg is going to play around MentalDepressed late game. I feel like there's a lot of interesting options in how you can respond to an aggressive play by a Boombots. Wow! Trollacademy with the clean solo kill on Gear Chief, making a 1-for-1 over there as the boys are brawling. This time the execute comes up massive for Trollacademy.
Yeah, Trollacademy seems this may be what he needed this entire game, because if you can keep getting those executes off, it seems like Trollacademy is going to be unstoppable. How many times did Trollacademy on that Odin have someone at 40 health, or maybe even 100 health? It doesn't really matter. How many times? It felt like a ton. And with this Achilles, I mean, that is so punishable now. So easily killable, and especially against a god like Guan Yu, who really doesn't have a jump, can't really do much about it. All he can do is Aegis or try to get on his horseback and cavalry charge, but that's not an option sometimes. Obviously, like he tried to do right there, couldn't get out. Oh wow, Rama snipes coming out from a mile away.
Whew, so close, too. The third one might have done it, but it was off the mark on NeptuneSpartan. Landfall did pull CubeDaFace's Purification Beads, and now Cube is alone, but it's just Voulg there. Neptune's afraid to step up due to the health difference. They don't know where the Hoombots is at the moment. Neptune now steps up, but too little too late. Spent Sparks on the way, has MentalDepressed right behind him. Overhand smash, overhead kick to respond, and now MentalDepressed steps up too far, gets out with the jump, and is safe for now, and everybody gets to go their separate ways somehow. Off that fight, I thought for sure we'd see a kill from that. We're starting to see a big level difference in the ADC side as well, but something I want to talk about. I mean, we're both Smite fanatics, and I think I'm curious if we're seeing the same thing here from Eclipse. I might have a gank that'll interrupt me first. Voulg around for LuneyToons. Master Fisherman going to come out after the solar swing, but it's not quite there. Blades of Retribution bring LuneyToons in, but look who's around the corner. It's Bacchus, and LuneyToons has the damage advantage, but Spent Sparks with the cutoff. Well played from both sides. All right, let me get this point across. From what I'm watching, as just a Smite fan in general, I kind of see a clear path I think, for Eclipse, and that is Fear No Evil on Cookie Named Joe under the tower for a kill for MentalDepressed.
That's all you wanted?
Yeah. I think you play around that Cubed and LuneyToons are gross in terms of, you know, getting your damage out, being your damage carries. You've got Trollacadimy, who clearly is gross in the soul lane, and your setup is nasty late game. DrJDM excels at getting people out of there. MentalDepressed still finding the role in my eyes, but I think it's clear. Go from your damage outward and let Trollacadimy lead the way in fights, and you've got a nasty combination.
Ooh, good kill there coming from the Kukulkan. Khan. I mean, and a big fish coming here as well. Spirit of the Nine Winds will be off the mark, and Flop will come out from DrJDM just to go ahead and secure himself another 10 minutes in this game, possibly, you know? Because at this point, Dark is just looking for picks like that, and if they can keep getting picks like that, then they can do exactly what they did last game, which was sadly ended up losing the game, but they can come back and win these games really quickly. DrJDM finds himself in a rough position.
Solo kill for Gear Chief in the solo lane. He was down to 10% health. NeptuneSpartan cleans up DrJDM, and Pyromancer fell to Dark Omen. So action across. Another solo kill in the solo lane. This one goes to Gear Chief. These guys are a intense solo lane. That's a solo laner's dream, to not have to fall asleep over there and actually have somebody you can compete with.
Yeah, this game is neck and neck right now. As you can see, the gold and XP are literally hundreds, only hundreds off of each other, barely that. And once again, Trollacadimy getting picked here by a solo by Guan Yu. Gear Chief pulling this back out. It says, I don't care if you're Odin or Achilles. I don't care who you are. You're going to get bopped here. And this time, he's really showing that ability of Guan Yu in the early game to shred protections and kill people. But a big pull here from Eclipse in the early game.
I think this might be almost completely free. Yeah, this is free. There's no contest there. LuneyToons is doing some serious damage, and you have to respect it right now as well. Trollacadimy dives deep on NeptuneSpartan. DrJDM on the follow-up, but is the only person on the follow-up, so NeptuneSpartan gets to walk away. Gear Chief ran into MentalDepressed and CubeDaFace and is taking quite a bit of damage, and LuneyToons is lurking. Rage is online. Ishtar not quite here for the good spot. Overhead kick gets spent spark. Spirit of the Nine Winds knocks up CubeDaFace, who's still alive somehow. Blades Retribution on LuneyToons, who's going to fall down to a cookie named Joe, and Spence Sparks has a double kill, and all of a sudden only 2 people are alive for Eclipse. DrJDM with the flop over the wall will be safe for now, but you know who is not safe is Trollacadimy, who falls down to the landfall, and it's almost a deicide. Eclipse only has 1 member left after such a free Gold Fury.
Yeah, that's what I was just talking about. Dark Omen has a... Oh, wow. They're going to go for Fire Giant here. At 50 minutes into the game, Fire Giant just wiped out 4 players on Eclipse. This is a really great choice for them. And as we were talking about earlier in this game, this had no kills. Is this an SPL game? You know, that kind of thing. We were talking about in the first game, before that match had started, that this is feeling like a second Immortal. And that's what they're playing this like a second Immortal right now. This is crazy how well they're playing and how well they're playing objectives, especially. Mentally Depressed will go down immediately.
Well, look at NeptuneSpartan falling low, got hit by one of the knockups. Does not fall to the Fire Giant. Eclipse steals the Fire Giant away from Dark Omen after what was such a risky but good call. Eclipse takes it away. Neptune almost fell. That is not what Dark Omen was trying to accomplish.
No, I don't know. It felt like to me like Dark Omen could have just stepped out for that Fire Giant with a half-health Kukulkan. Goodness gracious, a big word. Kukulkan and a full health full health support and a half health ADC and those types of things. Like, they killed the Hoombots. They killed Mental so quickly. They could have done that 2 more times and secured Fire Giant themselves, but instead they went ahead and did the 50-50, and a 50-50 against Eclipse is something you cannot do. You tried to do that last game and it didn't work for you.
Yeah, last time it cost them the game, to your point.
Yeah.
DrJDM now alone with 3. Master Fisherman going to come out here soon. DrJDM does have the flop and Solar Swing off the mark. Looks like Cube is starting to hit. Look at Voulg's health bar. It's disappearing. It's getting really low really quick. And Maui is going to have to turn tail and get out of there away from the Oleron.
Yeah, there's something that a lot of players don't know, which is that mages can crit. And when you see those big numbers come out, the only ones you will be seeing is 168 from Oleron is very dangerous. DrJDM finds himself in a very rough position against a 4-man squad of Dark Omen. So Fire Giant will come off of DrJDM immediately.
Wow. Yeah. you know, you gave me horrific flashbacks to face punch Ymir. So thanks for
Yeah,
that.
no problem.
I'm gonna be recovering from that for the next little
He
bit.
had that buffer, what, 2 seconds? Yeah.
Oh man. All right. Looking over this solo. Something interesting that's happened because of how early this fire giant happened. It's so weird seeing two soul laners dueling in a laning phase where one has fire giant. That looks weird.
Yeah, it's generally does not happen, and Fear No Evil will come out, but also a tornado will come out right onto the mental.
Oh, it hit
depressed.
cubed.
It did. No threat though, you know. Too bad.
Make the play.
Maybe?
Go in hard. He's doing it. NeptuneSpartan's feeling it.
Go 2v1, baby.
I didn't have to. He decided a little bit too late. I'm a psycho. I would have gone for the fight. Would I have fed? Would I have gotten flamed? Absolutely, but it would have been fun to go for. Now MentalDepressed might be caught out. Gear Chief going in deep. Sacred Monkey might actually work to Mental's advantage, but gets stunned in the tornado and falls down. Gear Chief gets the credit. We have a rotation from Eclipse, but it's an awkward fight to take, and there's only the Pyromancer to fight over, so wisely, both teams are splitting the difference at Pyromancer to see what they want to go for and what they want to pull.
Yeah, I mean, this is a pull right here, but Gear Chief finds himself in a very rough position. Landfall will come out and land onto 4 different gods, but will only pull 1. CubeDaFace will get into a bad position, but will actually end up getting the kill right onto Spin Spark.
Now ACookieNamedJoe has the pressure on top of him. DrJDM going to help find it for Trollacadimy. But NeptuneSpartan with the tornado. Now it's a rampage. Picks up a kill on CubeDaFace. LuneyToons just could not find an opening to get into the team fight there. And the lack of damage from the Rama in that team fight was felt. Worked out in the end, but I'd be frustrated there as the ADC. There was just not a good opening to get in. Spirit of the Nine wins for the Pyromancer. Steal, not in time. DrJDM falling down low. Gets the bomb on the way out, which we love to see. Gear Chief going deep for it. Blink from Trollacadimy. Ultimate from Gear Chief. Fear No Evil to keep the support safe. DrJDM might be an escape artist. I think I'm convinced.
Yeah, we might as well be convinced at this point because his entire team was yelling at him, "Run, run, run, run!" And he was just like that little, that little wine man was just like, very tired after that long run. But man, did his team really help secure him. I mean, a cavalry charge came out from Gear Chief, but was not able to actually create any kills with it, sadly. So
yeah, blinders were on a bit there.
Yeah, blinders were on to that DrJDM Bacchus but his gluteus Maximus was trying to be picked up there, but not enough from the cavalry charge. But Eclipse will go ahead and pick up the easy and free Gold Fury.
Oh, wow, that was close. They got it, but it was really close.
Dude.
The Blades of Retribution almost certainly caused some retribution there for Eclipse.
Holy.
Wow.
I was like, wait, was that about to be easy?
Yeah, I felt that in my gut. Gear Chief going in deep between Trollacadimy and MentalDepressed, but just so tanky. I mean, we've all experienced that in solo lane. I've even seen Fenix abusing it, so.
Oh, come on now. Don't call me out here.
No, it's okay. We were both diving behind the Fenix at like 10 minutes in the game, so I can only judge you so much.
Oh, that's right. Was that Quadra almost got? Darn.
Yep, yeah, I was trying. Trollacademy runs into 3 members, gets a stun on NeptuneSpartan. Up down from Voulg does not find a home, and look how tanky these guys are. Landfall, the execute will escape for Trollacademy. Really, really nice use of Fatal Strike to get away there.
Yeah, the biggest problem here, I think, that we're seeing from Eclipse, even though the score is only 12-6 and it's 21 minutes in the game, not really that big of a problem. Oh, this is not a problem right here. A Trollacademy on top of Neptune's head, trying to get the stun out, but was not able to get it as of just yet. Instead, Gear Chief will find himself in a very rough position around 5 different players of Eclipse.
And they split again. The call is once again turned between 2 sides of the map. Voulg going to go in and look for an opening. Nobody's got a clear opening so far. And Eclipse, they have the pressure advantage on Fire Giant, but it's hard to feel like they've got more than that. It looks like both teams are kind of split on what to do, and they're almost nervous to make the first step in.
Yeah, there are 2 people on Eclipse that should not be scared to step in right now, and that should be DrJDM as well as Trollacademy. Trollacademy can walk right into these people right now and have no threat. It feels like half of the time. He did it last game. He can do it this game, and I expect that he will end up doing this very quickly. He's always at the front of the line, ready to attack a Coco Khan right on the spot. Speaking
and
of
that's where the strength comes from. Yeah, you called it perfect. CookieNamedJoe has the pressure of Achilles on top, but safe for the time being. Sparks and Gear Chief took an interesting route around the back to try to maybe get a flank, but that wasn't there either. And Eclipse has such strong control of the Fire Giant pit, but they cannot start it because Dark Omen is so healthy. Dark Omen walks back in as 5, gets run into. MentalDepressed actually takes quite a bit of poke. Tornado does not find MentalDepressed. That would have been dangerous and a lot of damage on the Hoombots. Master Fisherman hits on DrJDM, who flops away. And Eclipse has now put themselves in a weird spot. LuneyToons going to take a lot of damage from the Tornado there. And Eclipse has kind of pushed themselves out of the Fire Giant.
Yeah, meditation being used here by Voulg. Smart idea. Bring your team back into this fight. Give your team an advantage against Eclipse. And I mean, Neptune's Tornadoes are just boxing people out. That's all they're doing right now, is just making it so that there's room for his team. And Trollacademy will walk into it and cause the Divine passive to just bounce around his team, which is not a good sign, especially with a full health Dark Omen on the other side of the map. But we just spent 2 or 3 minutes over there dancing at Fire Giant, and everyone's like, I need farm. I need farm. DrJDM has been 12 for at least 5 to 6 minutes now.
Yeah, the pace has kind of changed. At first, it felt off. Dark Omen steals the Pyromancer with the solar swing from Voulg. The pace has felt off. Earlier on, it felt like an SPL game. Now it feels like everyone's a bit nervous, doesn't know where to go. Fear no evil inside of Sanctified Fields. Landfall pulls up 2. Gear Chief in the back on top of MentalDepressed will find a kill on to Hoonbots. LuneyToons with the side view gets pressured out quickly and has to play it safe. Solar swing off the mark, and that's an opening for LuneyToons. Finds a kill at NeptuneSpartan. Gonna look for one on to CookieNamedJoe, but nice body blocks come out from Voulg, and the arrows were gone. Astral Barrage comes up and looks for Sparks and finds a home. Good awareness from LuneyToons as CubeDaFace cleans up Gear Chief. And Eclipse has now stumbled into the opening for the Fire Giant they were looking for long ago.
LuneyToons are going to have to message Anthony after this game, man, because goodness, you're making him very happy with those types of astral barrages coming down from the sky, creating room for your team and able to get this Fire Giant as well. That's really good for Eclipse right after losing that Pyromancer. They needed that.
That was one of the most aggressive plays we've seen this entire game from either side that wasn't from a solo laner, and it paid off for Eclipse. The charts have finally jumped in favor of somebody, and all it took was LuneyToons dashing through the second Voulg went past him, and it was a great play. I'm looking for more of those plays from Eclipse as we go on.
Yeah, obviously really well done there by everyone on Eclipse, but especially utilizing that Voulg ultimate as well. Even though Voulg ultimate had a really big rock in the middle of the thing, Eclipse really said, nah, we don't have to worry about that. We're going to go ahead and just walk around this and still be able to kill you. Usually that's able to create a lot of room for the team, but instead it was just the opposite. Eclipse was able to use that to their advantage and push it back onto Dark Omen's head.
For sure. For sure. What I'm curious now, I mean, Dark Omen has been playing this game well, and what strikes me as interesting for Dark Omen is they're stockpiling the pyro bombs, which is something we saw in SPL play-ins be very effective as a strategy. And that means that Dark Omen, while on the defense here, there's always an opening if you do get a wipe that you can run it back through and you can take a lot with it. Tier 2 tower defense begins, and Dark Omen actually is a pretty decent composition for this. Blinking for MentalDepressed. Fear no evil finds everybody. Astral Barrage a bit early, trying to poke out NeptuneSpartan in the back and create an opening to go in. Landfall brings in nobody but the minions, just barely off the mark. Spirit of the Nine Winds splits the difference. Voulg goes in, trying to create a new opening now that the ultimates are down, and finds it as Mystic Rush finds MentalDepressed. But look at the damage being done by Dark Omen. LuneyToons with return damage does find a kill, but ACookieNamedJoe shuts that down quick. Sanctified Fields comes out, and CookieNamedJoe's caught between cubes, but Sparks has a double kill on CubeDaFace, and Dark Omen takes advantage, and now Dark Omen can run it back.
This is what you just talked about, man. You have those 2 bombs now. Okay, we can use those on 2 towers, a Fenix. We can do whatever we want to. I mean, it's only 20 seconds down for MentalDepressed on the Hoombots, and 30 seconds for your highest person on CubeDaFace. Big thing about that fight, Sanctified Field came out so late. It was super late. It felt like it was it up? I feel like it was up the entire time because he had
and
not
it was used in an odd spot too. It was used a bit further back. I almost would have liked it being put in the tower to give an opening for Eclipse.
Yeah, the entire fight for Eclipse there was very scuffed. MentalDepressed walked in, tanked the tower. Well, he blinked in, but MentalDepressed blinked in, tanked the tower with 2 or 3 shots, which is not good for a Hoombots building full damage. When you could have just probably told Voulg or your very tanky Gear Chief Guan Yu solo, can you step in and I'll blink in and then we can get this 5-man ultimate. It would have been a great fight for Eclipse, but instead it did not go how they probably wanted it to. It did not line up the proper way. And hopefully, I mean, Fire Giant's come back up here in the next 30 or 40 seconds. And obviously Power Mancer is going to go the way of Eclipse here. No one's here to threaten from Dark Omen.
And that's the difference, right? Between your 5-man casuals, your ranked, and then your 5-man competitive with teams of guys where you are working together. The big difference is saying and having the trust in your support, saying Voulg, or excuse me, in this case, it would have been DrJDM, saying DrJDM, step in, tank the tower, and trusting that DrJDM is going to step in and tank the tower. Then you blink in and you make your playmaker play. You can still make those plays and go crazy. You just got to trust that your team has your back. We'll see how the trust plays in this next team fight, though. Voulg with the solar swing on top of Trollacademy, who is tanky as can be. And the damage is currently in the mid lane for Eclipse, but Dark Omen has lost the opportunity. Now could look to cut off the damage, and it looks like they're going to take a second to just reset and prepare for the Fire Giant fight.
Yeah, I apologize as well. I said the wrong person. Trollacademy should have walked in, or DrJDM. We confused them, the support and solo for each team. So Trollacademy, yes. If either one of them would have walked in on that left-hand side of the map for Eclipse, that fight would have went a multitude difference. Let's see if they can go ahead and clean this one up and maybe get a better fight this time on the Fire Giant.
We'll have to see. It's going to be close. They definitely have the openings to take. Gear Chief slightly poked out, but will be able to get it back up quick. Eclipse looking for the opening. Solar swing from Voulg. Doesn't find a home on LuneyToons. Eclipse looks like they're going to look for a pick before they try to pull Fire Giant and make the bait. And Dark Omen looks like they want to try to force a team fight because that's where they've got the advantage. But Eclipse is not buying it currently. LuneyToons is in mid, trying to farm up for more damage, which is probably the good call here. MentalDepressed goes in with the blink. Fear no evil, but no follow-up. Gear Chief was in the back on top of Trollacademy. So a bit more of what you were talking about showing there with the Fear No Evil. Voulg up, down on the Trollacademy, might be caught out. Landfall going to bring in 2, but they're tanky. Spirit of the Nine wins, doesn't care if you're tanky. DrJDM falls. Sanctified Fields comes out potentially a bit late again. All it does is push Dark Omen away. And Eclipse is resetting for this team fight. Trollacademy is backed and looks like Dark Omen knows it. They dive in on top of LuneyToons. An Astral Barrage doesn't matter here. I've been there. Spence Sparks takes out LuneyToons, and now Eclipse is on the back foot, and Dark Omen's got the advantage.
30 minutes and 12 seconds. You know what that means? Enhanced Fire Giants. If your shoulder were raised during that fight and you were a little bit nervous for each team, your shoulders better be raised even more now, because that dance that they just had caused this to go to a 30-minute game. So whoever gets this Fire Giant now can melt towers and melt Phoenixes like no other. But Trollacademy is here and is right behind Joe.
Trollacademy's got the perfect spot to go for the steal here, and CookieNamedJoe got stunned out, took a lot of damage. Shell had to be used as well, so that's a big loss for Dark Omen. Spence Sparks got caught out, is in execute range, but might not even need it, just needs the slam down. Spence Sparks falls. Fatal Strike to get away for Trollacademy, and he's safe for now, but guess what that means? That means nobody gets the EFG, and it's now up for the taking.
5v4 on the favor of Eclipse. This is probably what Eclipse really wanted. They wanted that man advantage, and they'll have it for 40 seconds now with Spence being down. Really well done there by Trollacademy. We said his name last game. We say his name this game. Has really been good at boxing out. That was actually, I'm going to be honest with you, that felt like a 4v4. And guess what god? Technically, it's a Titan, but what person was on the side of Eclipse? And that would be the Fire Giant. The Fire Giant was really smacking a lot of those carriers on the side of Dark Omen, which allowed for Trollacademy to walk in. Yeah, Neptune was very low, as well as obviously ACookieNamedJoe took the damage from Trollacademy, but also was taking pulls from the Fire Giant.
LuneyToons going to solo the Fury for Eclipse, and the Oni Fury goes the way of red. Now Eclipse is in a 4v, basically 3 for the moment. Ishtar a bit far behind, so no advantage will be taken. It looks like LuneyToons is really farming up for pots, cleaning up buffs. It's, you know, LuneyToons is taking advantage of these lapses in action in a very good way so far.
Yeah, he has, and I wish more members of this team would be able to do that, right? Because we have done these dances. They're really good at being at the objectives. Everyone's
It's killing
at these objectives.
JDM.
It is, for sure. JDM is so far, I would not say behind, well, he is behind right now, 4 levels. At some point, he was only a level behind. But this is another dance here, where 4 level ahead Voulg is tanking this Pyromancer.
Yeah, it's tough for DrJDM right now. Fear No Evil comes out to just try to help. MentalDepressed is stuck in the way. Spirit of the 9 wins and falls down. CookieNamedJoe is now in the sights of Trollacadimy, but it's cut off by 3. Doesn't matter, it gets a kill anyway. Sanctified Fields once again comes out. Once again, doesn't lock in many. Snipe's already used from LuneyToons, but he's got a lot of damage in the chambers. Dashes forward, but dashes towards no one. Finds Voulg around the corner. Shell comes out. Blink in from SpenSparks. Finds CubeDaFace, is doing good damage. Mystic Rust hits and gets the kill. SpenSpark now caught out. LuneyToons sees an opening. It's a 3-man knockup. That's the opening. Dash in from LuneyToons. Double kill for Spence. Double kill for Looney. Looney wants the 3rd, and SpenSparks doesn't have too much to get away from it. What a return play from Eclipse. Through the wall, just missed. LuneyToons will go all the way for this kill, I think. Won't chase it any further. What a play from both sides. That knockup was gigantic, and I think this might be a Fire Giant because they got the damage with LuneyToons.
They do have it, but Maui is running back right now, using those little feet of his, trying to get all the way back to this Fire Giant, and see,
I can
he
hear
does
them.
not, yeah, they do not sound like that, but like boom, boom, boom.
Yeah, they're more pitter-patters.
But no landfall, which means that right now LuneyToons is praying for some good damage on this because
They're going
oh
to 50-50. Knockup
Yeah.
secures it for Eclipse. The Fire Giant comes in clutch that time, and Voulg just has to try to get away. LuneyToons doesn't have the mana to go in with Trollacademy. I think the Fire Giant just secured itself for Eclipse.
Yeah, that poor Voulg walked in and found himself in the air immediately by, I told you, that was a 4v4 when Dark Omen was
true.
doing the Fire Giant. It was
did
once
say
again,
that
was a 3v1 right there because Voulg walked in and Fire Giant said, you get knocked up.
Yeah, that was. I can feel the frustration from that one. I think I pride myself in not getting very tilted when I play. There's a few stupid things that'll get me to go, man, or obviously with a little more expletives. But that's one of them. I would have not been feeling great if that had been me on that Maui.
Goodness gracious, look at the bombs on the side of Eclipse though. 3 runic bombs coming out from Eclipse, ready to go on any one of these towers or phoenixes.
I gotta get to a Phoenix. I was about to ask you about that. I feel like Eclipse has to really make a push with this Fire Giant.
Let's hope this fight goes better than the last one. Let's not have the Humbans tank, and they might have the opportunity right here. Fear No Evil will come out onto Spence and will almost kill him, but instead, ACookieNamedJoe will end up soloing MentalDepressed.
Trollacademy pulled in by Master Fisherman, has to use that Fatal Strike to get out. That's another blow. 3-man landfall into the Spirit of the 9 wins. 9 wins finds nobody, but CookieNamedJoe will do the work for you, Neptune. Don't worry, double kill for the Cookie. DrJDM pulled back, triple kill for CookieNamedJoe. And now Dark Omen, it's a scene we've seen before. They're pushing out the duo lane. Eclipse has to retreat. Now we got LuneyToons getting rooted in. LuneyToons going for the dash away. Gonna get caught out, and Voulg steals the Quadro. What a menace to society. Dark Omen, though, pushing out the duo lane. And another defense at tier 2. Eclipse cannot break past that line of Dark Omen.
I swear there was no caster curse this time about the tier 2 and the duo lane, okay? I promise. We didn't say anything. You guys can watch the VOD. There's not there. So what is Eclipse doing wrong? I don't want to put it on one person. I think there's obviously a lot of problems coming out here. CubeDaFace needs to use Sanctified Field immediately, but they have a good chance right here to 2v5 defend a Phoenix, but the monkey will find himself in a big problem with Spence in the back.
Oh, and he could not get the 1v1. MentalDepressed had the advantage, but lost it to SpenSpark. And now SpenSpark is alive. Shield comes out. SpenSparks will not fall under the Phoenix. SpenSpark's still alive somehow. Trollacademy dropping low. Spirit of the 9 wins. Gonna get the kill onto the Achilles. And Dark Omen is cleaning house underneath the Phoenix. I can't believe Dark Omen gets the advantage in that fight and doesn't lose anybody. I thought for sure Spence was gonna fall under the Phoenix, and he did not.
Wait, he's alive. Oh, he's alive. Oh.
Unreal. It was the
Kepri in this team?
Oh, it was the Erendite that gave the shield that led to the survival for Spence. That 1v1 MentalDepressed was a tough break. He survived, got to walk out, and now Eclipse finds themselves defending with a Fenix down despite what has been good Fire Giant fights. This entire set has been a mess.
Yeah, they own the gold lead right now. I mean, they're getting to that point where they're buying 500 and 3K pots almost. And that's a big advantage for them. But they can't seem to utilize it. They've had Fire Giant, they've had Enhanced Fire Giant. Where do they go from here? They need to really bring these team fights to the next level. Sanctified Fields need to come out. Fear No Evil needs to come out right on top of it and force these bees and aegis as quickly as possible. Pyromancer being dominantly killed here by Dark Omen. No chance for Eclipse.
None whatsoever. Now Gear Chief looking in. Cube gets pulled in. Landfall to the dragon. NeptuneSpartan kills CubeDaFace. DrJDM gets caught out, dropping low, already half health. Trollacadimy, though, breaking through and getting the support out again. The escape artifact continues, but we got to get some farm on that Bacchus. Eclipse now has to back and defend, and they've got 50 seconds until they've got Oleron, and EFG is going to fall to Dark Omen. I don't see a world where you can step up to it.
No, it's already a quarter off its health right now, and you have Spence in the middle lane just watching 4 people in the mid lane saying, hey guys, literally don't even worry about it. There's no one coming your way. So Fire Giant will easily go the way of Dark Omen here. And also, CubeDaFace is down for another 20 seconds. This is probably 1 to 2 towers.
Yeah, I'm inclined to agree. The only thing that they don't have is pyro bombs, but at 38 minutes, I honestly don't think you need them. I think you can kind of just one-shot anything. You've got CookieNamedJoe, you've got Dominance online, you got Aussie building into a keen size late. It's going to be crazy damage coming out there, but Trollacademy finding NeptuneSpartan, doing good damage. MentalDepressed opens the door and drops the Fear No Evil on 5 members, but once again, it's a theme. Fear No Evil leads into no follow-up from Eclipse because there wasn't an opportunity. Tier 2 tower has dropped in mid, and Dark Omen looks to take the Phoenix Siege.
That Fear No Evil is going to now be a big-time problem for Eclipse because that's one of the biggest things you have when they start diving a Phoenix. And if you don't have that now, all you have is Sanctified Field and hopefully a good execute from Trollacademy. But now without Fear No Evil, I don't know how Eclipse is going to defend this as well. Besides doing half of NeptuneSpartan's health. Goodness.
Yeah, this game's a lot. We're 40 minutes in, just 20 seconds away from the tick over, and Dark Omen is just now sieging the right side Phoenix. Voulg goes in, Landfall brings in Cubed. Spirit of the Nine wins, just misses LuneyToons, but Cubed is dead anyway to spend Spark. Voulg looking for an opening, finds DrJDM. Trollacademy steps up and is getting chunked. Frenzy popped forward, Eclipse on the defense, and Trollacademy still can't get in. MentalDepressed is looking for his opening. Fear No Evil is back up, and they're getting kills off of it. Mental finds CookieNamedJoe. Astral Barrage only hits Gear Chief, and now LuneyToons is cut off from using that ultimate. Trollacademy looking for NeptuneSpartan. Gonna find a stun? No! Stun off the mark, and that could lead to Trollacademy's death. Will certainly lead to NeptuneSpartan's survival. No! No! LuneyToons dashes in, gets the kill on NeptuneSpartan. Now we're split, though. Eclipse needs to clean this up and chase down mid, push out lanes, and tighten it up. Great defense, but you've got a lot more to go. LuneyToons gonna find Spence Spark and look for the 1v2. I respect it, and LuneyToons could take it. Spence and Gear Chief split. DrJDM on the way. Teleport coming out from behind as well. They're gonna chase Spence Sparks all the way, it seems, again.
Goodness, yeah, Spence is always the one being chased. Last time it was the Rama? Yeah, it was the Rama last time on LuneyToons. LuneyToons finds himself chasing him again. But Gold Fury coming up, Eclipse needs to go ahead and make up some of these Fire Giants they lost and possibly get a good Oni Fury. This will put the enhanced minions going down every single lane. Left Phoenix comes up for Eclipse, and Eclipse will end up securing the Gold Fury pretty easily. Obviously, Rama building a very strong crit build with Death's Temper as of right now, with obviously Deathbringer and Demon Blade. The star item right there, Death's Temper. 30% attack speed is really good. Full crit build, able to hit this Guan Yu, who does have Spectral, but still, it does have Spectral over there. Not enough. And also, I see an item right there called Failing Hoops, something I have not seen in a very long time.
Yeah, Fabless Hoops, Kingfisher is smiling somewhere, certainly that item was built, is on the Guan Yu. Great item. I will say, I would like LuneyToons, I think, to actually pick up an Executioner here. I mean, the damage is there, there's no denying that, but I feel like Executioner is not an item you want to forgo. I mean, the Death's Temper build is becoming one that's being used, but I think that in terms of builds, a cookie named Joe, the damage is impactful in a different way right now for the Ishtar over the Rama. Is it enough to change the course of a fight? No. Is it something that could be felt in the right scenario? Absolutely.
Yeah, I would have to agree with you there. I think that he could sell Death's Temper and get rid of that, and give just like what a cookie named Joe did on the side of Dark Omen, selling the starter item instead for chin size in this situation, or kin size. And once again, pronunciation, however you pronounce it, you're feel free to. Um, it's but dominance as well. Grit. Okay, landfall coming out onto a ward really got that.
Yeah, that. I have to assume that might have been a misclick, maybe trying to get it ready and look for an opening. That is an unfortunate ultimate to be down. Surely Eclipse heard it, at least, and now that's a big ultimate down for Dark Omen. Fire Giant down to half health, 43-minute Fire Giant, by the way. Down to quarter health, Voulg gonna go in, Spirit of Nine wins for the steal, doesn't get it! Dark Omen gets the Fire Giant, and Voulg gets MentalDepressed! Now the fight's breaking out, and it's a big one! CubeDaFace down low, and Spence looking for the opening in the back. In the front, LuneyToons has been left alone with 2 members. Cookie named Joe jukes out the Astral. Cube falls to Spence. Rampage for the Robin. Trollacademy kills Cookie named Joe, but LuneyToons falls to NeptuneSpartan. Trollacademy also falls. Double kill for Neptune, and it's only DrJDM. Dark Omen taking a page out of Eclipse's book, and the Fire Giant fight might seal the deal. They're going to run it down, and Dark Omen's got everything working in their favor, including fire minions. Got to stop at the Fenix, though, boys, and take it out really quick. Don't think they know it, though. This could be a bit of a mistake, as Spence is getting taken out from it. DrJDM, only one defending. Titan is going to fall down. GG. Dark Omen stealing a play from Eclipse and taking the victory. We'll be back with our thoughts in just a moment.
I could get drunk off the lights of a city. Late night phone calls just to say you miss me, but you don't. No, you don't. Drop my phone now, that shit's broken too.
We saw it in game 1. Fire Giants can win or lose you a game. In that circumstance, in game 2, it lost Eclipse the game. Phoenix, give me your thoughts on the ending there of a 44-minute game between these two guys.
I think we kind of read it since the beginning. We saw, obviously, team fights not going the way of Eclipse. Okay, they were not going the way of sieging, especially in that left side of the map. We saw it happen 2 to 3 times, where it just failed multiple times. And Dark Omen said, "Okay, well, you guys can't just keep doing this. You guys can't keep getting away with this." And so we're going to go ahead and punish you. And so, obviously, with Voulg using the landfall on nothing at the end of the game right there, as I was just saying, one of the biggest flexes I've ever seen in my life, because they then walked into that Fire Giant, stole the Fire Giant, and then killed 4 players within just a quick little sweep. Really good job this game by Spence. Spence really showed out this game. Of course, he showed out last game as well. But this game, really well done, focusing the only target he knew he needed to focus, which is CubeDaFace. CubeDaFace had no chance this game, only putting out 32,000 damage. He put out a lot more damage last game than he did this game.
For sure. And, you know, it probably seems like we're talking about Eclipse a lot and not Dark Omen. But that's not a bad thing for Dark Omen. Dark Omen has a very clean way of playing. I think the only thing Dark Omen could really work to clean up on is maybe being a little bit more aggressive, because clearly they've got their team fights figured out, and probably splitting a bit less, but that was a big thing. But Spence Spark, I mean, you casted a bunch of Spence Spark games in Scouting Grounds. That is a nasty jungler. There's a Fenrir game that's still in my memory from Scouting Grounds. And I don't know, Dark Omen is looking clean, but honestly, and it's easy to harp on teams when we have the bird's eye view we have in Spectator. Eclipse doesn't feel far away from tightening things up, and I think that's going to lead us to a very exciting Game 3.
I would have to agree. I think the Game 3 is going to be a really big challenge as far as Eclipse goes, because that's pretty devastating, the left pushes right there. Let's hope they can go ahead and wrap this up and, you know, maybe not play Hoombots. I don't know what it is. Maybe it's a Thanatos that you need. Someone's a little more kill divey. Maybe the Achilles in jungle, as I said last game, you know? Maybe that's what we needed to do. But we will see in the next game, and we will see you guys in a couple more minutes.
I don't wanna feel as cold as the winter. Let me sink into your bedroom floor. Lovely how lonely we are together. Crazy how I hold on for a little more. Drive into the night. I miss you sleeping. Where did you go? As soft as you're breathing. You left me alone, and I miss the late nights. So where did you go? 'Cause you were my safe ride. Now I drive alone. Don't hit like they used to. Never as high as it was when I'm with you. So I drink to cope, it's an issue, okay. New Year's Day, so now it's a new me. Tell me why I'm so fucking lonely. I don't know why you won't love me the same. Drive into the night. I miss you sleeping. Where did you go? As soft as you're breathing. You left me alone, and I miss the late nights. So where did you go? 'Cause you were my safe ride. Now I drive alone. I miss you sleeping. As soft as you're breathing. You left me alone. I miss the late nights. 'Cause you were my safe ride. Now I drive alone. I miss you sleeping. Where did you go? As soft as you're breathing. You left me alone, and I miss the late nights. So where did you go? 'Cause you were my safe ride. Now I drive alone.
Hello and welcome to Game 3 of Eclipse v Dark Omen. They have switched sides to look for Eclipse on the Order side and Dark Omen on the Chaos side. I'm still Anthony Malum. He is still Fenix. We do have a remake here, so let's go over the character selection just a little bit and then get right into the game. Fenix, take it away.
Goodness gracious, there's a lot to talk about here. We see DrJDM on the Maui this time, taking it away from Voulg, saying, that's not for you, that's for me. But I did just speak about the Thanatos. That was something that I wanted to see. I think MentalDepressed is going to be really good on this god. His playstyle was very much so seeming like someone that could dive in and sustain, and that's what Thanatos is made to do. Obviously, you know that I play a lot of Thanatos, and I played a lot
the
of
Menace in the
Scatting Grounds.
Jungle.
Yeah, obviously, I don't think he's going to know the crit build and be like that, but if he does, I will feel very honored. That being said, it is however you build Thanatos. Death Scythe is one of the most opportune and great abilities you can have as a jungler to be able to dive a tower and still come out basically full health. It's like a warrior diving at a tower. Now on the opposite side with Dark Omen, who once again is back on your right hand side, is now on your right hand side of the map. Cleo is going to come out. That's a big worry if you are on the Eclipse side this game. Because Cleo is not only really good in this meta, but also, have you ever seen the map? Because the map is laid out basically exactly for Cleo. There are so many walls for her just to walk into, and with that comes the ability to kill a Hell with Brawler's Beat Stick and maybe with an Onk very quickly. That Hell is going to have to be on her tippy toes, just like CubeDaFace was last game with the Ola run. This game is going to have to be on those tippy toes the entire game.
For sure, and you mentioned it with MentalDepressed, and I agree. Thanatos is a character that fits the playstyle we've seen a lot. In the same wavelength, Spence Sparks on Cleo, that is a wonderful pairing. I mean, Spence's whole game plan seems to be sneak your way into the back line and wreak havoc and take the 1v1s because you can probably win the 1v1s. And Cleo can just walk at the back line quite literally any way that she so chooses. Talking a bit about the ADCs, that tends to be where I like to focus ADCs and support. I gotta be honest, Charybdis, not my favorite character at the moment. The character itself is very strong, but in this meta, I don't feel like Charybdis brings a lot to the table that is very useful over any other character. We'll have to take a peek at bans once we get in game after the remake here, but I'm not feeling super confident about the Charybdis into the Ishtar. So your final thoughts before we head in game, Phoenix?
Yeah, I would have to agree. I think that Charybdis currently not the strongest in the meta, kind of along there with Apollo, someone we don't see that often. And it's not one of those ones like Chernobog. We don't see a Chernobog that often, but Chernobog is not seen that often because he's very undervalued yet really good. He's a very good god and can be played to a very high level. Very much reminds me of the new god release of Martikor. How do you exactly?
Martikaras.
Martikaras. Thank you. You have to pronounce it right. Martikaras. Just like that god, this Charybdis is just not gonna be able to, do exactly what you want to do. The obviously going down underneath is really cool and stuff like that, and the escapability. But I don't think that what Eclipse is looking for right now is escapability. I think they're looking for aggressiveness.
I agree completely, and I think you've wrapped up this and put a nice little bow on it. So let's not waste any more time. We've got a exciting Game 3 on the horizon, and we'll meet you in the jungle buffs. We'll be right back.
I don't wanna feel as cold as the winter. Let me sink into your bedroom floor. Lovely how lonely we are together. Crazy how I hold on for a little more. Drive into the night. I miss you sleeping. Where did you go? As soft as your breathing. You left me alone, and I miss the late nights. So where did you go? 'Cause you were my safe ride. Now I drive alone. Don't hit like they used to. Never as high as it was when I'm with you. So I drink to cope, it's an issue, okay. New Year's Day, so now it's a new me. Tell me why I'm so fucking lonely. I don't know why you won't love me the same. Drive into the night. I miss you sleeping. Where did you go? As soft as your breathing. You left me alone, and I miss the late nights. So where did you go? 'Cause you were my safe ride. Now I drive alone. I miss you sleeping. As soft as your breathing. You left me alone. I miss the late nights. 'Cause you were my safe ride.
This season's already got a flow to it. It is 3 game sets. I'm still Anthony Malum. He's still Fenix. Hit the speed buff. Let's do it.
MentalDepressed on Thanatos is already making us both very excited for this game. If he can get to that late game, as I was saying, and even the early game, I mean, Thanatos is Thanatos, and you don't want to see a hovering death at 15 minutes into the game when 3 people are very low, and that's very, very possible when you have this team comp on the side of Eclipse.
For sure. The only thing that strikes me as unique is the Mannequin Scepter. You play way more Thanatos than I do, so take me through the Mannequin's choice here over going something like a Bluestone or...
Yeah, Mannequin Scepter is not in meta right now at all. Obviously, it's the most recommended. It's still the recommended in Smite, you know, in the Smite builder. But there are 2 choices that I usually make, and that would be either Bluestone or Eye of the Jungle. Eye of the Jungle, Protector of the Jungler, is one of the best items you can get late game. Not only does it obviously allow for a lot of protections, but Thanatos with attack speed is massive. And speaking of attack speed, he went for Vision Shard. We have a Vision Shard in this game coming out of the Thanatos.
Huh. I mean, I like Vision Shard a lot. I'm not sure if I like it on the jungler. I prefer it on a support. I think Vision Shard is probably one of the best shards, but we'll see how it's utilized. There's a world where I could see it being used well. You got to be aware of this Cleo at all times for certain, and that's maybe going to affect the play style here for MentalDepressed.
Yeah, speaking of this Cleo, Spence is on the left side of the map as well as MentalDepressed is just waiting for this Cleo to get into a wall. Saw it happen. Cleo will come out of that wall in half health. MentalDepressed will say, I'm going to Death Scythe you right back and get all my health back and run away. So
yeah, MentalDepressed safe for now, but you know who's not safe? Trollacademy on the edge of the Tallow Assault. Gonna get away for now. Trollacademy playing it safe against Guan. Back to duo lane. LuneyToons dropping low. Spence still hanging out. Solar Swing trying to get him away. Spence is here, but so is Mental. It's gonna be a close call for the first blood. It's a brawl in the duo lane. Can anybody get away? 2-man root. Mental's so low, but there's just not enough damage. I can't believe I'm saying it, but there's no kill in the duo lane. Crazy. After both junglers rotate, everybody's alive.
I don't think this is the first time this has happened in this series.
No, and it's starting to piss me off, quite frankly.
Yeah, me too, honestly. Yeah, we have so many people at 10 health. I mean, stop egging us on. Just get a kill, please. Already 2 minutes and 40 seconds into this game. No kills. Is it going to be just like last game and be 8 minutes and 50 seconds before the first kill? I don't think so with a Thanatos in the game, but it's very possible.
It certainly is. We do see the Thanatos lurking around the solo side of the map right now, but Gear Chief pretty healthy on the Guan Yu, so it'll just be a invade of the blue buff and an easy one at that, securing a decent lead here for Trollacademy. Going to be effective for certain.
I like to see Thanatos players do that type of stuff, you know, go in and create some type of chaos on one or the other side of the map. This is one of those guys you can really do it with. Obviously, Hoombots can do that well as well, just like Mental played last game. But Thanatos is one of those guys that Death Scythe just hits for so much in the early game that you can just melt a buff very quickly.
Cube, gotta be careful. I was looking at the health bar and I thought maybe Cube was backing, but then I looked at the map and Cube was in the middle of mid lane. Is safe from Cleo for the time being. I got scared though just looking at the health bars.
Yeah, I heard you go, oh.
I was very confused. I was like, is Cube backing? Did Cube lag? I was, I'm not, it was pretty safe, but with Cleo in the wall, I don't know.
You never know.
Cleo's a character that I have not played around too much, and I still play cautious around her because I'm just not comfortable on where she's gonna pop out of.
No matter what mid, solo, whatever your enemy is when you're a Cleo, or whoever you are, excuse me.
For sure.
You have to be on, your head has to be on a swivel the entire time. Just be looking at every single wall because it does make a loud sound. It makes a very like, ooh. You guys, I feel like we could make like a Phoenix doing sounds thing now. But like it does go like a little sound and it goes into the wall, and so you can hear it from a mile away. It feels like half of the time. But if you don't hear it, you're dead. That's kind of how it goes. Yeah,
exactly. That's really the problem. A lot of damage coming out on LuneyToons, and Hovering Death looking for some assistance, but doesn't find the stun on Voulg, and now MentalDepressed is too low and has to back up. Voulg and CookieNamedJoe going aggressive. MentalDepressed almost died. DrJDM now alone with the two of them. and trying to create more separation for LuneyToons, who's dropping even lower than MentalDepressed soon. But again, they separate, and there's still no first blood.
All right, these two teams, we're gonna have to talk to you guys after this one. All right, come on, like making me and Anthony real. We're gonna cry. We might have to.
Yeah, I am getting emotional.
Yeah, honestly, might have to go talk to our therapist about this one because this game, the dual lane, we just love that dual lane, but we can't finish off any kills. But maybe Trollacademy and Gear Chief this time at level 6 or 7 will get a kill like they did last game. Let's hope that happens. Maybe.
Yeah, and it does speak definitely to the skill that everybody's got. I mean, when we talk about now the teams are together, scouting grounds is over. When we talk about things we're noticing, we're talking about the team as a collective whole. At the end of all things, I mean that this is the team for the season. Drops are limited, trades are not going to be super prevalent early on here. You've got what you've got, and you got to work with it. So the skill of these teams is there. It's just a matter of putting everything together and making it all click.
Yeah, and it seems like right now both of these teams are just trying to figure that out at the same time, which is really cool because this is what we want out of week 1 games, is you want this competition and this back and forth. So seeing a 3-game set in the first week, that's really rare, and so we're really happy to be able to see that, and I'm really happy to be able to cast it, even with it being a very devastating dual lane gank multiple times in a row.
Yeah, that doesn't lead to kills, but yeah, this is a fascinating start to the season for certain. Thanatos lurking, Gear Chief actually kind of low, but it's not quite there. Mid lane, pressure coming out on Cubed, getting low quick to Neptune. DrJDM is here for the safety of CubeDaFace, and it works out well. The hell is safe for now. MentalDepressed rotating back over, could not find an opening onto Gear Chief. ACookieNamedJoe getting low in the fight against LuneyToons in the dual lane, gets away barely. Middle lane fight as well breaking out. Washing machine, Jeffrey somewhere smiling, finds no one home. Landfall blocks off an exit, and here's the entrance from Spent Sparks as NeptuneSpartan finds the first blood onto MentalDepressed.
Something we haven't commented on much about this game yet is that Dark Omen and Neptune specifically has Morgan Le Fay, and this is a god that we saw Neptune, I believe, on Merlin the first game, correct? Is that what we saw? And then we saw him on, what was the last game? It was the Kukulkan. So Morgan Le Fay, right down the alley with those two gods, especially the Merlin. You can feel the similarities between the kits and stuff like that. Obviously, Merlin has multiple abilities and things like that, but with the ability to peel yourself and the ability to get out and things like that.
Yeah.
And that's something that Morgan Le Fay has a multitude of. Not only does her ultimate, but also the pushback with the dragon.
Yeah, the dragon flight, consuming power, both super impactful abilities. 3-man stun from DrJDM, but piercing veil picks up the kill onto MentalDepressed despite the best efforts of the support. All LuneyToons can do is jump as it's a double kill for Spent Spark. And Dark Omen, they're starting to cook up some work, up 3-0 at 8 minutes.
Spence needed this. This is what we both said it, right? We both, like, separately were about to say it, which is that Spence on a Cleo is scary. Like, that sounds scary. It feels scary. It feels like this is where he should be. He was on Ravana last game, but this game on a much more, once again, Jeffrey should be smiling, but it hit no one.
And execute range as well for Voulg. Gonna get out of there. CubeDaFace killed NeptuneSpartan. Dark Omen gets the Gold Fury despite the best efforts from Eclipse. Spence is super low. MentalDepressed has an opening, but has to get past Voulg to do it. Landfall on Spence Sparks secures the kill for the Maui. Solar Swing and the Death Scythe take out Voulg. It's a nice cleanup from Eclipse, but they do lose the Gold Fury.
Yeah, line up the score 3-3. Gold doesn't really show it right now, to be honest with you. It's only about 300 gold difference, and that's fair, to be honest with you, because I think the farming, while that fight's going on, at this point in the game, it was only 8 minutes and 30 seconds in the game. Gold Fury is not giving you a lot of gold at this point in the game. As it goes on, it obviously gives you a lot more, but a 5-minute Gold Fury is worth a lot less than a 15-minute Gold Fury.
Yeah, for sure. It's funny, that middle portion of the game is the only time I actually remember Gold Fury exists. I mean, Oni Fury is pretty important at all times, but otherwise I kind of, I'm one of those people. Anyway, ACookieNamedJoe, LuneyToons keeping up the fight, and the advantage is currently LuneyToons. Whirlpool, the Maw hungers, and the Maw is full. LuneyToons solos ACookieNamedJoe.
Yeah, we were talking about the aggressiveness coming out of a Charybdis, and I was saying, oh, well, you know, your entire team's aggressive, but Charybdis is not. That's how you be aggressive on Charybdis, is you show what that Maw is made of and chomp down real quick and kill a cookie named Joe. A cookie named Joe has found himself into very tough positions in the dual lane as of the last couple of games, especially on that Soul in the first game against that Medusa. Medusa came out of lane being like 8-3, it felt like. I believe was very close to the score and ended the game at like 14-3. And so a cookie named Joe is kind of just looking for his team to be able to bring back and be able to possibly get to this late game at this point.
Yeah, it does feel like Cookie Named Joe thrives in team fights, and the laning phase is. I think calling it rough is a stretch. I mean, the first game was definitely more rough than the second game. Second game, it was more even.
Yeah.
But the team fights are definitely the strength for Cookie Named Joe, where LuneyToons, I almost feel the opposite. I feel like the laning phase, the mid-game rotations are where LuneyToons seems to be shining. And then late game, obviously the Rama went crazy. I'm not taking that away. But LuneyToons definitely had a tougher time finding their way into some of the team fights late game.
Yes, for sure. And I think that these two ADCs obviously very neck and neck as far as the entirety of the game goes. And that goes for the same for the Soul lane that we're actually watching right now, just battle it out again. The one matchup I love is the two junglers who are fighting it out right now. This has been a back and forth every single game, and Mental finds himself in a very rough position using Soul Reap to try and maybe get a little bit of life back, but instead we'll get healed by his his hell that missed the mark, and now they're just looking at each other while they wait for those hills to come back up. A lot of healing coming out from Dark Omen. From Eclipse this game. They switch sides from Eclipse this side, and so I would expect a lot of anti-healing to come out from Dark Omen.
Yeah, you're kind of forced to. We already see one in the form of Contagion. A big throw-in on the Whirlwind is shut down by the Hell, and Trollacademy is plenty safe. A rotation here from the tier will surrender the totem. We'll see if they look to take Pyro. Looks like that is the play. Will be contested by Dark Omen. Voulg's leading the way. CubeDaFace just lit up. NeptuneSpartan in the mid lane. Cookie Named Joe very low under tower in duo. So this Pyromancer should go cleanly to Eclipse. Maw hungers under the tower. Misses. Now LuneyToons caught out of the tower. Cookie Named Joe just has to survive long enough, but leaves the safety of the tower and will lead to a solo kill. Voulg down low. Eclipse looking for the cleanup kill. Cubed finds it. Cube showing up big on the Hell. Landfall, hovering death on Gear Chief. Neither quite hit. Gear Chief still safe. Going with the cavalry charge to get away. DrJDM on the follow with Solar Swing. Tyr's going to lead the way with Judgment. And Gear Chief hasn't lost a tick of health despite all these ultimates. Finally losing some. MentalDepressed is in. Gear Chief needs one hit. Somebody get the hit before Spent Spark kills everybody. Cubed gets it. Gear Chief falls down.
Man, this entirety of this team needs to back up right now because this is not the time to be diving too far, but they are going to back up. Thank you for listening to me, guys. This is not a curse or anything like that, but wow, the Hell. CubeDaFace comes out in a totally different fashion than he did last game. Last game, it was a very rough early game for him as he was being very cautious about a big Ravana coming out from the side of blinking out of the wall or something like that, you know? But this game, he looks very confident, soloing Neptune in the mid while his entire team is over at the Pyromancer. Really well done this game by CubeDaFace, especially with the cleanses. Whoa, there's another one right there. Self-cleanse.
Right on it. You didn't even curse Cubed. Look at that. Look at the damage coming out. Dragonfly trying to stop Cube, but Cube is committing for it. Doesn't have enough ability. Somehow gonna Aegis the tower. You can't get more aggressive than that, and gets the kill. Now cleanses away. Cubed is on fire, but Spent shuts it down. Finally. That's one of the most aggressive plays I've ever seen a Hell player make.
The pre-Aegis was 100 brain. That was crazy, dude. That is out of this world thoughts. CubeDaFace, I could have never done that on Hell, and I believe that is crazy what you just did. Anthony and I are very surprised, and God bless you for doing that, man, because whew.
I'm stealing that trick.
Yeah.
Gold Fury getting pulled here by Eclipse, but they let it go after the showing from Spence on the side. And they're going to look for a pick on Spence, but he's going to Phasma into the wall. Cookie Named Joe also around. But it's a tough fight for Cookie Named Joe. We've seen him get soloed a couple of times. He's going to put his farm behind Trollacademy. Takes him out. Trollacademy noticeably been rotating a lot and around the map a lot. We'll see if that affects him later on, but CookieNamedJoe is currently the target. Two-man Fearless beats Jolt to get away. Judgment's chasing down CookieNamedJoe. He sidesteps the blade. Needs one more hit. Finds it. Trollacademy is committed. Diving tier 2, but they're not doing the Gold Fury. Trollacademy still deep and nothing's being done. Tier 2 tower might be on the mark. Trollacademy just now falls, and Eclipse was starting to walk that way, and now they walk back. They did get the tier 2 tower, but I'm surprised that didn't turn into a Gold Fury.
Yeah, Eclipse is biting a little bit too much. You know, that was a great opportunity for gold. And instead, right now, Dark Omen's going to be able to walk over to it with 4 people being full health. Of course, MentalDepressed and LuneyToons level 15 standing in the area. Ma is up as well as hovering death. And so this is a great opportunity for Eclipse possibly to get 4 or 3 kills. But Gold Fury will be dropped, and Eclipse will find themselves in an awkward position where they have to decide whether or not to fight this. And it looks like they will.
MentalDepressed goes down on Spark, but takes a lot of damage as the stun did not quite hit. Spence piercing Veil, but MentalDepressed gets out of there thanks to some help from DrJDM. And Primal Fury being pulled, but not seriously looked at from either side. Dark Omen is all here. Eclipse is all here. It's our first true 5v5. MentalDepressed is already poked out and backing up. Trollacademy goes in deep on Spark, but has to back away. Trying to create some kind of opening for his team, and finds it on Voulg, but that's it. Only Cube is here for backup, just trying to keep Trollacademy alive. DrJDM and Trollacademy get cut off by Piercing Veil, and LuneyToons can't find a way in either. Dark Omen taking a bit further back positioning than we're accustomed to seeing, and a Primal Fury standoff, and Primal Fury will get pulled as a direct result of that.
Okay, so
it should be clean for Eclipse.
Yeah, it should be very easy. But here's my big thing about it. Trollacademy found himself into a position of fighting 3 people at the same time, and Eclipse will secure this very easily. Trollacademy still looking for a fight, as well as the entirety of Trollacademy rushing into the side of Dark Omen.
Gear Chief down low. Trollacademy finds a kill on a Gear Chief. Voulg in execute range. MentalDepressed lands down and finds it. It's a kill for Thanatos. Make it 2 so far. Sparks diving through, looking for damage, and DrJDM leads the way despite the low health. And it's going to be his consuming power from NeptuneSpartan with some help from Spark, and that's a tough death there for DrJDM. I see the thought process, but the health bar just did not support it.
It's what I just said, which is biting off a little bit too much. When you don't have the time yet, that was a great time to say, okay, we got these 2 picks in the jungle and the Gold Fury. Let's walk immediately over to Pyromancer. Let's walk immediately over to Fire Giant. Let's go steal their buffs. Those types of opportunities come up. But what I was speaking about before that team fight happened was just these dances. I'll accumulate all 3 games here right now all together for us. I bet you money that there probably has been about 30 to 35 minutes of dancing around objectives in every one of these games. Not in every one, but all of them combined. During those 35 minutes, if you're level 13, level 14, what I recommend you do, and what I usually do, at least in my games, I'm not the pro here at least or anything like that, you guys are all in the STL, but is you can go off and have one person go farm, especially the person that's like ahead. In this position, it would be like Cleo can go over to mid lane and just go clear wave after wave, wave after wave, and just keep doing it and get to level 17, 18, 19, and then 20 possibly very quickly while everyone else is still level 14, 15. That's really good for a Cleodana and also really good for a Thanatos. So that's where you kind of can see these dances get a little bit more opportune, a little bit better for each team.
Yeah, I agree. I am also that player where I'd rather be flamed about not rotating than rotate to a dance and miss 5 to 6 waves in my lane that could be more farm in my pocket. Yeah, it's because if I leave and get the farm and you're still dancing, I come back, I kill everybody. And that's my mindset with it. You know, when I'm playing with a team, it tends to be different, but we're seeing it here. I mean, we pointed it out at the end of the last game. LuneyToons was doing that, and it helped. LuneyToons was able to, in that same moment, jump in and turn that fight after farming for a 3k pot.
Yeah,
so
well, I'm the ult for
it works. Yeah.
It
works. It's just a matter of doing it and understanding, not just doing it to do it, but understanding the exact reasoning why you're stepping away to do it.
Yeah, of course, you have to be logical about it. You can't just walk away and go all the way to Soul Lane while your entire team's at Gold Fury, especially at like 20 minutes into the game or something like that, and it's an Oni Fury. That's obviously not the most logical thing to do unless you're a solo with teleport, which then it becomes a little more logical. But in this situation, let's see how they can actually, you know, maybe go with this under-leveled, and once again, DrJDM is level 11. And the tank is level 12, and it's 20 minutes into the game. So hopefully they'll hit level 20 by the end of this game, because last game, DrJDM did not hit level 20.
The fight's breaking out heavy. Dragonfly pushes back 2 and CubeDaFace and Trollacademy. They come down on top of Gear Chief, who's pretty tanky, but taking some poke. MentalDepressed was around the side with LuneyToons, looking for an opening. LuneyToons is poked out as well. Cube's going to try to stand back and heal, but some aggression coming out from Dark Omen. Spence found LuneyToons doing damage. Washing Machine throws in 2, and the damage is serious. Killing spree for Spence Sparks. Gear Chief gets LuneyToons double kill for Spence. And Dark Omen's making the play happen. Chasing down MentalDepressed now, going to look for the tier 1 tower. Voulg goes on top of the Thanatos, just looking for a way out. Teleport coming into the tower, but not going to come out in time. Probably lucky it didn't, as a tier 1 tower falls to Dark Omen.
Yeah, really well done by there. That Whirlpool, as you just talked about, man, got him in that dishwasher style right there, man. Freaking got 3 of them and threw them right to 4 people, and Morgan Le Fay said, nom, 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 nom. There was absolutely no chance for survival for any of those 3 players, and sadly, CubeDaFace was not able to get off that cleanse before it happened.
Yeah, that would have been a game changer for that fight. Trollacademy, you know, going back to our point before about stepping away and farming, Trollacademy has rotated the majority of this game, and Trollacademy is still on par with his opponent and taking on 5 members, so it works. And now the Fearless on Gear Chief just disrespecting him. So Trollacademy understands the need to walk away and farm. And we're not saying that they don't understand farming. That's not the point we're making. It's just that dancing can kind of kill momentum in a game. And game 1 is a great example because Eclipse had the momentum, they had the fun on their side, and look what that game did to them.
Oh man, Trollacademy is doing so well here currently.
He's still fighting, and the judgment to get away from Whirlwind of Rage and Steel and Trollacademy just walks away with only one hand, mind you, but a middle finger up in the air.
Oh, big time, yeah. And he's ready to fight again.
Now he's going in and finding 2 on the Fearless. He's just unstoppable on this tier. MentalDepressed goes in, but everybody's already left. Now MentalDepressed gets poked out quickly. Jolt. Gear Chief gets the credit for the kill. Trollacademy now stuck alone. Double kill for Gear Chief. Split push coming out from LuneyToons should get this tier 2 tower, but that might cost a Fire Giant after the misplay from Eclipse. I think that was just straight up miscommunication because they were retreating as MentalDepressed was diving in deep.
Yeah, everyone was going in and trying to get out of it, but MentalDepressed and somewhat Troll, was there as well, trying to get some kills as well. But CubeDaFace finds himself in a rough position trying to steal a Fire Giant, but instead finds a Ghost Lady trying to hit her head.
Does good damage, but you talked about the Brawler's Beat Stick being the difference maker, and it's online, and Cubed is suffering from it. Spence still hanging out, not an opening though to take on Cubed, but they do get the Fire Giant. LuneyToons did get that tier 2, is stopped at the Fenix, so things aren't great at this exact moment for Eclipse. Gold lead is still in their favor, but the feel of this game, I'm sure this is probably a very tilting situation after that misplay over by the red buff on Chaos side.
LuneyToons is the best thing he could, by the way, which was he farmed, and
yes,
he's level 20. He did exactly what we said and what he did last game on the Rama, which is just walked away and said, okay, well, 2 of my guys are down. We can try to steal this, I guess, but otherwise I'm going to go to the left and get a tower and get level 20, as well as, rushing towards that starter item now, possibly, but probably will sell it as he did last game.
Looking back at that fight that I think really cost it for Eclipse, I think it started when the portal was taken from Maui by Trollacademy, bringing Trollacademy back as Mental went in. Do you think that was a split call or just kind of an unlucky moment? Like, I haven't played much competitive. I haven't really played many scrims. Most of my 5v5s are, half the people are drunk. So I'm curious, was that a split call? Was that a shot calling mistake? Or was that just bad luck?
I'm not more worried about the bubble, what happened during. I'm more worried about what happened after, because obviously MentalDepressed ulted in and then Troll went back in to try to save Mental. Because of what happened. And so by the fact of Mental hovering death into that fight, caused Troll then to say, okay, I need to go back in and heal myself and try to peel out Mental for the situation, which then got Troll killed in a 2-for-0 and an easy fire pull, as well as then immediately Looney walked over to left lane. So it's immediately what, because if Mental would have if Mental went in, hovering death, ulted in, and then Trollacademy said, I'm out, and just walked away, then I think they would have probably not got the kill on Troll. But instead, Troll kind of turned around and said, oh, something here, and that hesitation is what caused them to lose that fight. And this hesitation is not coming out of Dark Omen right now, who is just walking into this middle tower like nothing.
NeptuneSpartan got very poked out, and Trollacademy is looking to take advantage. Voulg is in deep, in execute range. LuneyToons finds the kill. Now MentalDepressed going for NeptuneSpartan. Aegis comes out, and NeptuneSpartan stays alive. MentalDepressed cannot say the same. Trollacademy, though, cleans up NeptuneSpartan. CubeDaFace kills CookieNamedJoe. Now Gear Chief gonna drop down quick. Double kill for LuneyToons. Eclipse trying to clean up, but Spent Sparks is trying to stop it. Double kill for Spent Spark on the Cleo. Making work on the assassin. Crazy positioning. I lost track of Spence, and he came out and saved it. Blink from Troll. Troll's going deep for it. Doesn't find the kill. DrJDM wants the kill. Almost died the tower. Has to retreat, and Spence gets away with it. I lost track of Spence in the fight, and Spence popped out of the wall and started killing everybody.
Yeah, obviously a little bit delayed on the initiate there, but it came out right at the right time as well to be able to secure kills for his team, because otherwise that would have been a real quick pushback to middle tower right there for Dark Omen. For Eclipse. And I'm glad to see Spence succeeding on this Cleo. I really hope that we can see her do more of it. These piercing veils are causing a lot of chaos for Eclipse, and especially for MentalDepressed, who has found himself in a horrible position 3 times in a row now, right next to his solo laner tier. Trollacademy just not able to make any do of his hovering death. Got the Aegis last time, but that's not good enough for a Thanatos. You need that first kill, which then will escalate you to the next 3.
I think it's easy as a Thanatos to kind of find yourself trying to sit back and play off of your team, and I think that's sometimes detrimental to a Thanatos. And I think looking at player damage, only 7k on the board for the Thanatos. I think that's what we're seeing. I think MentalDepressed is trying. I think he's trying to avoid the mistakes of the Hoonbots. He doesn't want to be the reason team fights fall. He's trying to make different plays happen, and in doing that is kind of not letting Eclipse down. There's other things that are being awkward in these fights, but he's putting himself in worse positions than if he was probably just playing the way he wants to play.
Yeah, obviously we had high hopes for MentalDepressed on the Thanatos. We thought this would be very much so his play style and his right down his aisle, right? And I think it is. It's just how we play it and how we execute a Thanatos, because the Thanatos is very specific in how you execute it. And one of the things that this Thanatos is lacking right now is lifesteal.
Wow, Trollacademy is putting in work.
Yeah, 4v1 right now, and of course Fire Giant's being pulled, but it's down to a quarter health. Wow.
Down to 10% health. Trollacademy had even us peeled away, but Dark Omen comes in and steals it despite all the work from Trollacademy, and now Troll is dead to Cookie. MentalDepressed falls down to NeptuneSpartan, and Dark Omen takes the Fire Giant away. Now they're trying to take lives with it. Gear Chief leading the way. Taking damage, though. Gotta fall back. Healing coming out from Eclipse. Trollacademy had everybody distracted from that Fire Giant, including us, and somehow Eclipse didn't secure it. Tough break, and now Dark Omen making the call clear. Run it down mid. They're gonna take the tier 2 tower and look to push further. Unfazed is Dark Omen.
Yeah, Dark Omen, they're going to retreat here and go for Gold Fury, which makes logical sense. He probably could have gone for a Fenix, but you have 3 up. I guess it is the ADC and the mid laner. But I think that middle Fenix was an opportunity. We won't blame them. Of course, it's okay. You guys can come back and get that in literally a couple of minutes, especially with that 1 runic bomb in your inventory right now. And it looks like we're going to look for a tier 2 on the left side of the map. But to comment on everything that's going on, wow, really well done by Dark Omen there with 2 onks, by the way. They have 2 onks on solo and support, and this is now another big fight. Piercing Veil coming out to try to create some room to get this tower.
What can they do with the room? So far, they're taking tier 2. Dark Omen gonna fall back, probably go to the other side of the map. Tier 1 is about to fall to minions, so that'll be one basic attack. Maybe look for that Tier 2, clean up the map on your way over. Trollacademy saves it, but it's gonna be one hit. I like how Dark Omen's playing this Fire Giant. And you know, something I want to talk about, try to kind of pivot our conversations here. We talked about, we love that pyro bombs are being picked up and stashed for a play. The only problem comes is if you stash up the pyro bombs and then you don't make a play with them. Okay, there's one play with them, some damage done to the tower from Trollacademy, but you gotta play around the bombs if you're gonna hoard them that way, because with 3 bombs as Eclipse, you could have looked to force a tier 2, and if you could even step in and drop your bombs, make a play on it, and you were early in a game enough to where it could have made a difference. I almost feel like Eclipse is kind of mentaling themselves out of this game, while Dark Omen might be taking a more simplistic approach and just, as they're feeling out comms, just doing what they know how to do, just playing Smite normal.
Yeah, bread and butter is Smite. I mean, 2 Bluestone Brooches coming out from the side of Dark Omen, which is very smart. Very strong item currently, even with the nerf that came out for it. And they're playing, as you just said, look how many wards are in their inventory, by the way. So many wards. Everyone is warding on the side of Dark Omen, which is really good to see, especially when they're securing this Pyromancer. Another Runic Bomb will come their way, which is something that they need more of than Eclipse does right now, honestly. They would love to be able to push more of this in. Only a quarter of the Fire Giant left. They probably want to push down this right side of the map and get tier 2 from Eclipse.
Voulg has been pushed out, but is so tanky, who cares? Hovering Death comes out from MentalDepressed, looking for an opening, does not find it. Half health NeptuneSpartan, but MentalDepressed is going to fall down. SpenceSpark gets the credit and is unstoppable. Now Dark Omen's got their opening, and they're going to cavalry charge their way into the opening landfall to try to stall things out, but it's only a matter of time until Dark Omen goes under this tier 2. CubeDaFace goes in for some damage, but takes a lot of poke, and Voulg kills the hell. SpenceSpark out of the wall, doing damage onto LuneyToons. Gets the kill. DrJDM falls down to a cookie named Joe. And now the tier 2 tower is going to fall, and things are looking grim for Eclipse.
Eclipse is currently standing at a 5v1. Trollacademy, the one guy that probably could do all this, is here to defend. But it will be a very difficult thing. 3-man Fearless coming out for him, and will get the dash out of the heal as well.
And the 4-man Judgment Fenix! Trollacademy's gonna go down fighting! But the problem is he's gonna go down, and now the only thing standing in front of Dark Omen taking this set is the measly Titan after the deicide. Dark Omen takes the first set of the season. Wow! We'll be right back to talk about that exciting end. Trollacademy gave it everything he had at the end, but everything wasn't enough that time. Eclipse falls to Dark Omen in this 3-game set. Fenix, give me your final thoughts on the set we saw, and an exciting one at that.
Yeah, you would be surprised to see that the people on the right side of the screen lost this game, because 11-1 Spence. Spence didn't die until the end of that game, and that last fight was 11-0, which is really... Is that correct? 11-1? No, that's assist. No, that's right. 11-1.
No, yeah, 11-1.
Oh,
and
my
right
goodness.
side took this game away from left side. You got your lefts and rights messed up, but overall you had it.
Oh,
yeah. They ran it down, and they had every opportunity. We pointed out small things here and there, but overall they did their best. Overall, yeah. I was entertained. Were you?
Yes, of course. And I'm sorry. Yeah. So the Guan Yu, of course, won and stuff like that. But Spence really great in the Cleo down. We expected that. Obviously, MentalDepressed did not do as well as we expected on the Thanatos, but that does not mean that Thanatos is not a good god for MentalDepressed. We expect to see it probably in the next time. And really well done by both teams. This did not feel like a divine game a lot of the time. It really felt like an immortal game, and that was really cool to watch because a lot of these players are very talented in this division.
For sure. I think the big wrap-up here is that both of these teams have things they can look at on their VOD reviews and definitely improve. And I think that these two teams come Week 7 going into playoffs, we could be looking at 2 of the top-end teams here of Divine if they can just clean up a few things. I've been Anthony Malum. I had the wonderful presence of Fenix alongside me. iNooblet was running cameras. This has been the Divine Division on the Smite Draft League. Subscribe to continue watching the games for the rest of this season, and we will see you next time on the Smite Draft League.